call this meeting to order. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Bob Tate,
Here.
Jeff Seibert is absent, JT,
Here.
Jason Heaton,
Here.
Mayor Buckley,
Here.
Joe,
Here.
Ryan is absent, Bill,
Yep, I'm here.
Janet is
Approval for last month's minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
Well, this is in charge of the weather.
Tommy,
Do I
whatever
get
his
this?
name is.
This is- I don't know if I did this correct.
You guys,
If there's anything you need to
is
fill
there
in.
any changes that need to be made to the agenda?
I just had to add one thing for old business.
Should I add the thing that Bree sent me? Is
You
Bree
can.
here? Bree is not here.
You can.
I'll bring it up. So that would be under the grants.
Well, you know what? I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing up grants anyway, so I'll talk about it.
Okay, perfect.
And you can take it from there. Anything else?
I just have an update on Woodbury Engineering, or the engineering firms.
Okay, we'll add that to
Just old business.
business.
And Janet's not here. I don't know if it was gonna be brought up, but next, I think Wednesday, the 26th, the Water Authority is going to be having a public meeting 2 times in one day. She wanted to attend one. One's at 6 and one's at, I think, 2 in the afternoon. So she wanted it brought up if anyone wants to attend. The
Okay.
sale of, it's about the sale of
the
water.
water system.
Water system. Okay.
Yeah, I think everybody got, because Jen and I contacted each other. That's being considered by the PUC in June, I forget the exact date, June 18th or something like that.
something like
Yeah,
that.
didn't you send something out about that?
Yeah, but then like Mayor's saying, they're also having these public meetings. Those are required by regulation to have public meetings like that. But anybody can go,
Okay,
obviously. If
You're
you're
gonna
interested.
tell us now or just do it under old business?
no, there was something else she was gonna bring up, and I'm sorry I forgot. No, I think Jenna wants to bring that up and then I'll
Okay,
elaborate
that's
on it. Okay.
Also, baseball is on the agenda, so once we get finished with,
When we go to citizens, we'll go to baseball first.
yeah, so you guys will be up first.
Great. All right, so we need to approve the agenda.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Officer reports. You got the zoning officer first.
What?
You have any zoning business to talk about?
No.
Okay, that's easy enough. Code enforcement, we had, I think, 3. Did we do 3? All right, might have lost the words.
Just smoking that.
Yeah, smoke and die and
Occupancy.
occupancy. That's what I was looking for.
Perfect.
So I think we had those, and I don't think we had anything else. I have to hit up a couple people for building permits when I see stuff that's being done.
You talked to a few people about parking in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I've been talking to some people about parking in the middle of the street too. If they get hit by a snowplow, Joe, is it our fault if they're parked in the middle of the street? I mean, do we get
Well-
sued over that?
It all depends on the circumstances. If you see them there and you just go, plow right into them, you just can't hit them. You know,
Sometimes you can't get through.
well,
I mean, it's like really close because you'll have a car here and then somebody parks their car way out in the street on the other side and I could barely get through with my truck without a plow.
yeah. That would, I mean, if you're trying to get around them and you sideswipe them, you mean, or something like that?
Yeah,
If they're parked illegally, they will probably have liability on that,
that's
civilly
what I was
speaking.
wondering. And I told somebody that today. I seen a car that I had to squeeze through and I texted them. I said, you gotta get your car.
The way you said that for a minute, I thought it was just there, you just can't,
No.
No,
yeah,
Can't push
just
it off.
plow them out of the way.
push off the road like that. But no, seriously, if it's, if there's no other way, they're blocking access, blocking the your right of way, so to speak, and you make a, an effort to go through and it's just a little too tight, and because they're illegally parked, you sideswept them, and I believe that would be their liability, their responsibility.
That's what I've been telling people too, because
Yeah.
there's been a few calls that I had to make
Yeah.
about people doing that.
Oh, absolutely. If you find somebody who's parking in that fashion, they need to be told.
I tell them when I see them,
Yeah.
and I tell them that, we're not liable if you get hit and you park. like
Chief has
that.
something to say.
If you have a vehicle that's blocking the access for public services or emergency vehicles, you can call us.
Yeah.
Usually I just stop, or if I know who they are, I'll
Yeah,
call
be
them.
fair
text
enough.
them.
Yeah, but if they don't move it, they can be
Yeah.
Contact, you can call us.
Yeah, that's a good point.
something, Brian, you guys,
Yeah.
do you have the non-emergency number? You can reach out to
Yeah, I
these
have it.
guys? So if there is an issue in the middle of the night or anything like that, please reach out to the non-emergency. That's a good number to call, correct? And then report that.
Okay, that's all I got, and I have a receipt for you too. Emergency management is here. Eli, you have anything to report?
We got our quarterly meeting in, next week, Bill?
Next week.
Next week, yeah.
Do you need help with that? Do you need help with any of that stuff?
Always.
I'll volunteer if you guys need it.
The biggest thing is that everybody on council is required to complete 100 and 700.
They're all, is there anyone who's not compliant right now?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if she was. I don't know, I have to go back and look at my record.
How often do we need to update that?
Just need to get
Once you've done it, pretty much at once and done, unless the state comes out and says, hey, you need to go back and re-up. But I've never seen that.
When is that meeting, the next meeting?
25th.
Which meeting are you talking about?
For
For
emergency
local or for
management?
county?
It's the county meeting.
Next Tuesday's our county meeting.
What about for like our local West Mayfield? Do you guys have like a meeting for that or anything like
We
that?
don't regularly have meetings.
Okay.
Nothing standard that we set up a pool meeting every once in a while. Get some information from the county.
What I'm offering is if you need me to come up here and check the equipment, make sure everything's running, things like that. I have no problem helping out with that, making sure that the trailer's ready to rock at all times, whatever. So I can help out with that, and then if there is an emergency, reach out and I'll do what I can.
Yeah, there are
for you.
positions in the emergency management
Structure.
structure, yeah, thank you, that need to be filled, that we never fill.
Okay.
Most of them don't get filled in a lot of places, because in the lieu of an emergency, and hope we never have one, but there's all kinds of, there's police, there's fire, there's public information officer who talks to the press, resources, telephone, computer.
We essentially manage a listing of all the local resources that we have here in the borough. We will run out of that in any significant emergency. Then we contact county and see what county can share with us.
Okay.
We are just an intermediary of information.
Sure.
But there are 8 identified seats that we put on emergency management.
Well, get a hold of me sometime in the next coming weeks or whatever. I'll help plan whatever we need to do.
Great.
Thanks.
And if there is ever emergency, just don't be afraid to call me too. I don't want to sit on another board or anything, but if I'm available,
If there is
if
an
I'm here and
emergency
there's an
council, all
emergency.
council is to be here.
Okay.
And that might be something, we can even set something up
That's good to
online.
know.
Like a resource where people, if they want to volunteer for this type of stuff, that we might be able to get some help that way as well. If the community wants to help.
It's on the website.
Yeah, all of council is supposed to be here in lieu of if we have an emergency like that, because it's your purse string, we're spending it. You need to know and say, hey, we gotta try something different.
With a declared emergency,
Yes,
we have the standard form. The mayor signs off, this is an emergency. It sort of bypasses the requirements for spending.
Sure.
It's an emergency issue. We have to get this. We're gonna get this whatever we can. We're stuck paying for it.
Okay.
One of the big things we do is damage survey. We go through, we take pictures, there's a standard we look at, we lay that all out, we pass that information to the county emergency management services. When a dollar value is achieved, that money or that damage goes to PEMA, the Pennsylvania Emergency Management. They push it up to FEMA. If the disaster crosses a state line, it's a lot more generous for FEMA to start throwing money.
Okay.
But we have to survey everything, take all these notes, we have to use all these FEMA forms to document everything. Bill's last big snowstorm that hit through 12 years ago, 15 years
Yeah, I
ago?
think quite a while ago.
Yeah,
That was the year we got like 7 or 8 grand back.
yeah, because he kept all the records and had all his paperwork in order, we were able to get money back.
Good. George was on, George and, George Patman, but George was mayor at the time.
Okay, is that it, Eli? Okay, Chief, do you have anything?
Nothing additional, council has no report.
Okay. We need a approval of the officer reports.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Okay. Borough Secretary Treasurer report. Jenna.
So in January on bills total, we spent $21,693.81. The salaries for January were $8,452.59. So for a grand total, we spent $35,405.53. And then total deposits, we had $9,793.59 with interest earned of $152.62. And then the balance in the general fund as of January 31st was $432,586.81. We did have to write a check out of the water and sewer fund for joint sewer users, in the amount of $24,654.24. Liquid fuel balance was, as of January 31st, $64,204.92. Our Pliget investment account was $3,976.68. The Pliget capital purchase was $1,780.79. The water and sewer fund balance is $188,202.43. And then our emergency management fund is $12,412.49.
great.
For police, we had 13 calls. They are all cleared and closed.
Good job.
And then we did have a meeting with Waste Management. And I just wanted to kind of bring that up since it is the year that the garbage is changing.
Who had a meeting with Waste Management?
It was me, Bob, and Mayor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And so basically we got some specs from them. Basically, we need to get our bid specs together and figure out what all we want. But they did provide some basic, it's a 26-gallon cart service. It's not your own garbage can like
No.
it is now. Or 96,
96
if I could get my numbers right. 96 gallon. They do have one bulk item included per month, so if you need to get rid of a mattress or a couch or something, it's automatically included.
And electronics.
Electronics, they do have that
They pick that up off your porch.
off your porch, yep. They are stating that they need at least a 3-year contract with a 2 1-year mutual options or just a 5-year contract in general. So everything's here if anybody wants to look at it.
Yeah, let's get a copy of that.
Basically, what they're saying though is they want us to write out what we want.
Mhm.
We gotta make the specs out to them and then they will give us a price
An
on it.
actual bid.
Gee, I want to make sure, Jennifer, are they saying as far as the term of the contract,
Mhm.
they want a 3-year pact, come hell or high water,
Mhm.
with two additional possible extensions on it?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure.
Or a 5-year total.
Right,
Yes.
right,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, given the some of the concerns that have been arisen since. You go back to 3 years ago, you guys would have had some specs then. And then maybe the way you do it is look at that and then think about what problems have we had since then.
Oh, yeah. We brought up a lot of that stuff to them. Now, they don't come, right now, they're not coming down this way. The closest they get right now is Ambridge. This is Waste Management.
This is a different company.
Oh, different company,
altogether.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
All together.
My mistake, okay.
Right.
And they're trying to get down this way. So,
And didn't they say stuff about vacant homes and?
yeah, well, we brought all that up to them about like vacant homes. They don't have to, we don't have to pay. As long as they know that the homes are vacant, they have like vacation. If you go away for I'd say, they say up to 3 months.
Up to 3 months.
Up to 3 months, and you're not home, then they'll shut your service off. So I like what they're saying, but like I said, we have to write up what we want, and we can have unlimited, or we can have the one can, which I'm thinking that we do the one big can. Now they only have to have the driver. They have the claw that comes out, picks it up, dumps it in the truck. So, and then if, a lot of people are used to having 2 cans, need 2 cans, and if, in that case, they would supply a second can with a different rate for that person only. So basically, we're not charging, because I have so many calls with people that I only have 1 bag a week. I don't even have trash. I take my trash wherever. And so it's not fair that we do unlimited because I need it, and you need it, and you need it, but 10% of the borough needs it, 90% can get away with 1 can. So it's not fair that everybody pays for them 10% that need 2 cans or unlimited. So it's all what we decide we want. We have to
And
get
we need to get a committee now
yes.
gathered up to put some meat and bones to this and then put those out to the citizens and get information from them
Right.
so they know.
And that's why they wanted to get a hold of us early on, because they knew it was coming up. They reached out to us. We did not reach out to them. And you called Jason. Jason was working. He couldn't make the meeting. So
Do we
that's
want
where
to
we're
set
at
a
with
date
that.
to sit down and discuss all of that stuff?
Whoever's gonna do it.
Well, don't you have to advertise also for bids?
Well, we will, but we want to get an idea of
We're
what
trying to-
services we
Okay.
need.
We're trying to do our homework first before we advertise.
You guys,
We
you're
have to
right,
list.
Mayor, but when you put that ad for bid, you want to put those specifications.
In the ad, in
Yeah.
bids, in the ads for bids, okay.
Yeah, that way it's all apples for apples. Okay, what
Yeah,
else you got?
I think you need to set some time and get some people set up to say, okay,
Yeah,
let's sit
let's
down and
set up
hash
the
this
time
over.
now.
All right, so who
And then we
should,
can send it out.
that would fall under, that's gonna fall under, finance and litigation, right?
Yeah, because that's your contract negotiations, right?
Unless you can make meetings for after 3:30.
And we can.
Yeah.
Well, these type of meetings, what they're talking about are just gonna be like work sessions where you sit down and say,
Yeah.
okay, what do we need to do? How do we want to do this? What about this scenario?
By the time I get home, get scheduled, that'd be for after 6 o'clock.
We work
Let's say
weekends?
when people work.
So we can even set it up for a weekend.
What time do they have work?
That's up to you.
Yeah, you're the boss on that one. And you have 2 people working with you on that, supposedly.
But other people
I do?
come if
You're
you,
you have a committee.
but can't other people attend
Oh, sure,
this?
anybody can
That way
help
you get
out.
more input. You
I'll
just
set
have
some-
to
set
let
something
people
up.
know.
Get with your committee and put it together, and we'll decide what, just
They're not here.
make a date
Yeah.
and put it out
The two
there, and
that aren't
whoever
here.
can make it.
You got 3 to choose from there.
Put me on that too.
They're not on this?
They're on.
Yeah, it's on. I didn't know he was. I thought it was.
Yeah, he took over, I think, for
Jeff or Jake.
For Lou.
Lou.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Whatever.
I'll send something out.
Okay.
What else you got, Jenna?
Kevin and I were discussing maybe getting a bulletin board, one of the waterproof ones that you can put outside. to hang up agendas or meeting schedules or anything. So something that I wanted to bring to the table. They are a little pricey. We said what, about $400 or $500 was the price that we looked at for the bulletin board. So I just wanted to bring that to the table as an option for everyone, for people that don't have access to the internet or anything we put on the Facebook.
What would you do? Just put it on the borough building here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
And then you would
People
hang
have
it
to
up.
drive back here to come and look at it.
Mhm.
I don't think that would ever happen, but you can do it.
Yeah, that was my concern, was
Because
as
we
far as
had-
anybody actually
You
gonna come
put
do
them
it, it's
pamphlets out
possible.
there that one time, remember Monica and, somebody was gonna do that monthly bulletin? We bought that thing to put out here, and people could come and pick
I
it
don't
up.
think I was on at that time.
They put them in there, nobody ever came.
It is a legal requirement to post your agendas at the door. And so
So you
anything,
hang it on the door, but it's not a requirement to put a billboard out, right?
Yeah, my requirement for what.
right,
You just
right.
have to post it.
And so what Jen and I mean, our discussion really was around, there are a lot of, and many people here brought this up too. A lot of citizens aren't on Facebook or the internet. So having a document that could be put up there, I mean, if you put something on just before the meeting, that's fine, right? 3 days out, I mean, the wind may blow it away or whatever. Anyway, this would be more permanent, more weatherproof, more consistent with the way other boroughs do this sort of communication with a public bulletin board. So that was a great idea.
What if we print something out and put a box out there, print 20, 25 papers, see if anybody takes them, that way, and all the
That's a good
information could be
idea.
on
That way we know
that
if we need
paper.
to spend the money on,
You're talking about like a $10 realtor box.
yeah.
That way they can
Like a
just show
realtor
up
box.
and whatever we would write on the bulletin board, instead of writing it on the bulletin board, they have a physical piece of paper they can
Right,
take
we
with them.
talked about
That's what I'm saying.
that,
We used to do the same thing when they were doing that weekly or monthly bulletin. This is current events.
that is a paper expenditure, right? But if you have a board, a box out there, you can not only put the agenda on there, last copy of the minutes, but other borough news on there, right? And you would save that paper cost for sure. So I know it's initial outlay, but in the.
I like
in the
your
long-
idea of initially, let's do a test and see how it works.
See what people actually
Yeah,
show
see
up.
if anybody actually
Uses it.
uses it
Yeah.
before we spend the money.
If we put 25 in there and at the end of the month, there's only 25 papers still left in there, no one's showing up to look at it.
Even if you do it for 2 months, I'm gonna do it for just one.
You still have to post
Yeah,
it.
something.
You still have to post it, but at the same token, if you put something in a bulletin board, you don't know how many people come out and look at it.
Right.
So you can't verify that one way or another.
I know personally for me though, I would like to take a physical piece of paper with me so that I can look and see, like, I'm gonna forget half of the board unless I take a
Let's
picture
take
of
a
it.
picture of it.
That's what I'm saying. The taxpayers are paying for that paper. I mean, that's one way to look at it.
They're gonna pay for that
Take
bulletin
that big
board.
bulletin board
Here's a
too.
36 by 24 bulletin board.
That'd be
$77.
waterproof.
Yeah, there are probably different options. I mean, you know,
We'll look into that
Honestly, it's
then.
something I can look into and maybe find a different price option.
Just found something. It doesn't have to be big, just so you can put a couple papers in it. Okay,
I'll look into that.
That's a
and
good
Bring
idea.
it to the next meeting.
sounds good. Got anything else?
No, there was something on there, but Jason's here this week.
What
so-
about the bank?
Oh, yeah, I have to, I didn't wanna add it in, I was gonna do that
Save
now.
that,
Yeah,
okay.
save it, yep. Thanks for bringing it up,
No problem.
cause I'm gonna get more information from them when I go there tomorrow.
Okay.
We have to approve secretary.
We need to approve the secretary's report, treasurer
Make a
report.
motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
What was
Court.
the active shooter?
It's under
Correspondence.
correspondence.
Under correspondence, I want to thank the council and everybody that came to the funeral for my wife and for the, I think it was a
Blanket.
blanket rug or something. It was very nice. I want to thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
The only other thing I had, Mayor Cogley sent it to me to read out. There's going to be an active shooter preparation on Monday, February 24th. It's at the Beaver County Christian Assembly Church. The Beaver Falls Neighborhood Watch is holding it, so we just wanted to let everybody know if you wanted to attend that to get, a little bit more information on active shooter preparation. It is at the Beaver County Christian Assembly Church. It's at 814 Lincoln Place in Beaver Falls.
It's the neighborhood watch meeting.
Like, that sounds like Windmer Engineering.
It's
It's
right
right
by there.
next-
It's the
yeah.
church right
Yeah.
on the corner going back there.
And it'd
What time?
be really nice, Eli,
7 to 8.
emergency management, I'd love you to come. I'd love anyone to come to these, they're
The
very,
date again?
Monday.
Monday, the
Monday, February
26th.
24th.
I'm sorry, the 24th. I got all these meetings. 7 o'clock.
Okay. Well, we had no zoning, well, we did our zoning and code officer, emergency management chief. At this time, we need to go to citizens and baseball will be first. We need, we'll
Who's
need a
speaking
motion
first?
for that. Hold on, we need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, baseball.
All right. Okay.
Is this Andrea? And
I'm Andrea Nibala. And I'm Diana Campbell. And so we're all here today with West Mayfield Baseball. And we want to just thank you guys for, letting us come and speak. And we are really excited. We know that West Mayfield Youth Baseball has a long history with West Mayfield. We're not sure how long. My husband played in the league, not for West Mayfield, but when he was little, so at least 40 years, right?
It's been a lot of years.
He's grown up quite a bit.
Yeah, he has a little bit, right? Just, to give the community a little backstory or like what's happening. Right now, we currently have signups. We have 4 levels of league, so T-ball, farm league, minor league, and little league. And then we are rebuilding the program after, who was it, Kip? Had a long history of like running it. So we just have like a new group of really great coaches and volunteers that are starting to rebuild the program and bring it back to life. So our registration is open now until March 1st. We have a really great response so far. We have about 40 players that are signed up between ages 5 and 12. West Mayfield is part of the Beaver County Youth Baseball League. So we have teams that are in the league from Beaver Falls, New Brighton, Freedom, Rochester, Hopewell, Southside, Ambridge, and Aliquippa. Our season is opening April 21st. It's going to run through June. That's our spring. And then we do have one tournament planned for the weekend of July 18th that does act as our fundraiser to keep our nonprofit organization running. So we want to work with you, and we want to make strides and improvements for the playing area. Last year, West Mayfield Baseball put in batting cages, new batting cages that cost approximately $11,500. The concession stand received a new water heater. The bathrooms are now in working order, and we pay the monthly electric and trash bills. So we're working currently with the board to come up with an agreement to continue with our working relationship. We hope to keep West Mayfield Baseball alive in the community. And we pass around folders, and this is all like the proposal of everything that we talked about when we were together, like the points. So we're hoping that you guys can like look over that, and then we can meet again so that we can come up with an official, proposal. And then we can get that all squared away so that we can continue having West Mayfield baseball at the fields. But if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take them for you.
It wouldn't be a proper borough meeting without that.
That's right. Gotta have that.
And you can definitely look over them and send us an email or, when's our next meeting? Is it the 3rd?
March 3rd.
So it's March 3rd. So if we can meet even, like our meetings where our West Mayfield Youth Baseball meeting is being held down at Corner Tavern, and then afterwards, what we did last time was Jake and Mr. Tate and Janet all came down. So that's when we originally kind of talked about all the things that are in here. So, if we want to review them, then we can, work out all those details and then, you know, we can go for there.
So your next meeting's when?
March 3rd at 7, wait,
6.
6 at, Corner Tavern. In the back.
And real quickly, I just want to reiterate that we are a nonprofit 501(c) organization. I know people think that we make a lot of money on tournaments. We have one tournament a year, and all of that money goes back into the program. We are not making a blessed cent. We are, in fact, we have very little money to our names in West Mayfield baseball. I know before there was a history of tournaments happening and a lot of money being made down at those fields, but that was people before us. We are new to the organization within the last 3 years, and we hold one wooden bat tournament in July, and that money goes back into the program, and that's how we're able to do things like the batting cages and upkeep for our fields.
And we try to keep our registration low, right, so that, you know, there's other, even on here, there are other baseball organizations in, you know, the Beaver County League, and ours is probably the lowest registration. It definitely was last year. So, you know, we want to be able to offer that, continue to offer that, you know, option for people of the community. Because West Mayfield baseball is open to everybody in Black Hawk School District too. So that's, you know, you're bringing in the people from everywhere, and I don't know, it's like a great nostalgic like feeling coming down and playing baseball there versus like the other option that we have here. Nothing against them, it just makes me feel like, you know,
In the community, we're very well known for, you know, the family atmosphere, the fact that our coaches actually teach the game and it's not just about competition and like you're not good enough so you're gonna sit the bench the whole time. Like, we don't run that way, like some other area baseball leagues do. So that's kind of our draw in the community, is that, you know, if your kid, we have a lot of kids who come from other programs in the district because they're frustrated and they are hating the game. And so we're there to take that kid in and kind of bring them back to baseball is a game and it's not life. And, you know, we're here to have fun and learn and make friends. So that's kind of what we're about.
This is definitely a great start, for sure. Does everybody back there have one of these as well?
no, we didn't make, we
That's
didn't
okay.
realize
That's
that, yeah.
okay. And this is something that we could probably post online as well for everybody else to see.
You don't have the problem.
But
I don't see anything about the parking lots.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't see anything about anything other than just baseball. You're gonna be using,
Well, that's all we do is baseball.
I understand that, but you're using our park, and it's basically
But so are other
just,
people.
it's just basically,
Where I was coming down to. Hey,
your people are gonna be using the park. You're not just bringing baseball players, you're bringing baseball players' families. So you're using the park, but I don't see anything in here that says anything extra, like maybe cutting a little bit more grass around in the park area. Or you're not doing anything for the borough except for baseball kids from wherever they
We
come
are
from.
upkeeping the fields that are currently established in the community park.
Right.
We did
That's
talk
our
about that.
donation. I mean,
I'll read this out real fast so that the people in the back can
Okay.
hear it as well. So responsibilities of West Mayfield Youth Baseball: field maintenance and improvements, including grass cutting, infield dirt and field preparation, dugout and fencing upkeep, batting cage maintenance, bathroom cleaning and maintenance, the monthly utility cost, including the electric bill, the trash, obviously I dumpster, the concession stand operation exclusive to West Mayfield Youth Baseball unless otherwise agreed upon, handling all agreements made with outside business or organizations with the West Mayfield Youth Baseball, assuming full responsibility. The borough shall not be liable for any third-party agreements.
Well, when we met last month, we talked about that, like
Yes.
what grass they would be, West Mayfield Borough would be responsible for and what we would be responsible for. That's why there wasn't anything else in there.
Yeah, and typically what we've done before in the past, I know with Barry, when we were cutting the grass, when Barry was cutting the grass, he handled all of the infield work, but he also handled from
The fences.
basically from where the creek crossing is, the bridges,
Yeah.
all the way down.
Can you
I
repeat
mean,
that?
Yes.
I'll be real honest with you. I know that Barry was making money
Yes.
doing what he was doing. Like, we don't have enough money to buy the equipment to do what you're asking us to do.
Sure.
We will have to fold, and there will be no baseball organization in West Mayfield.
And I don't think it's that big of a deal for our guys, honestly, to take out the grass in the center sections. Like, is it gonna help us? Absolutely. Is it gonna?
You talking about the playground area?
Yes, the playground area. I mean, the playground area is part of the park. I understand it is, baseball does use
Those
that,
areas
but
just
Put in here.
east of the first field.
Well, and also too, and as we progress and have an agreement, we can always, renegotiate every year, like
sure.
what's going
The more
on.
you guys grow, the more you guys can do.
Right, yeah. So we don't wanna we are just really getting started again and bringing this program back. I mean, at some point, our kids are gonna age out, so hopefully we set a good, foundation going forward so that that continues to happen. Cause I would hate for all of us to put all this in it and then, there's not any new parents that are coming in that wanna take it off. And then it does die.
Sure. And I don't think anybody on this table
Trying to
here
kill
wants to wipe
Yeah.
out West Mayfield baseball.
That's great.
The big,
You're not making money, but so you won't be renting the fields out to softball teams and any other teams that want to rent the fields.
So
You won't be renting them out.
Libertor Baseball uses the field in exchange for 50% of any improvements on the field and the water and trash bills.
Yeah, he's not down there.
He just uses them to practice. I think he ran one training camp for 2 days to make back his cost to.
In lieu of that, he's
us.
paying part of your expenses for
Correct.
other things.
Yeah.
and that's something I've suggested before in the past too. When you guys show up, you have to come up here with numbers. Show up so that everybody in the back knows how much money is being invested. How much did Libitor pay? I know he's like one of those guys, he wants to be in the shadows and he doesn't want to take recognition for any of that.
I mean, I
But he
think if they
don't.
want to know those numbers, they can come to our baseball meetings. I don't think we need to bring them to the borough meetings, do we?
I think it would definitely be helpful,
Would be helpful.
to get the information out to the people that come to us, and say, hey, listen, there's lines of cars down here, but I see all of our equipment down there maintained. You know what I mean? So if they see that you guys are actually investing the money in, because no one here knew
Yeah.
who put the batting cages in.
Okay.
No one knew who paid for it. No one knew who paid to have the bathrooms
Or how
taken
much it
care of.
cost.
No one knew, little things. How much weeds did you guys spray? You might have spent $500 spraying weeds, but if no one up here knows that, they just assume that their tax dollars are paying for all of that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And two, just like on the record is, we definitely can be. We're just volunteer parents with these
Yeah.
busy, crazy lives that it's like, hey, this needs done. No problem, I'm running past or I'll pick it up at the store. We're probably not even turning our own receipts into the program, right? Like,
Yep.
because it's like, whatever, but we can try to be a little bit more cautious of that so that we have something to be like, by the way, we spent.
That definitely helps us. I know I've been contacted for multiple issues down there, and it's the little things. It's always the little things that somebody has a problem with, and it's okay. I mean, they're taxpayers. They're going to have issues with that. But at least now they'll be able to hear it at the meeting or listen to the recording that goes on here and go, oh, that just answered my question, and that saves me from having to deal with somebody screaming at me.
Sure. And I think too, as we start really, West Mayfield baseball is really getting a really good great reputation, that does nothing but make West Mayfield Borough look
No.
really good, because
Sure.
it's like, oh yeah, like, they have a great program and they have a good working relationship with the township, so I see no reason that we can't all just keep a great relationship going. I mean, I'm pretty optimistic.
Yep. This is definitely a great start. Unfortunately, some of the people that are on council that are in charge of the parks down there, they're not here today. We'll let them review it. I'll review it. Anybody else is welcome to review it.
I would like to see the grass being cut
But this
to
is
the
all,
stream, because
that's something you
your
can,
batting cages are there, which got damaged last year
They put
because
that in
our
there. They put
guys.
it in there.
it's in here.
Yeah, but it just says around the
Yes.
cage.
Well, we can, I mean, if you wanna come on, we could definitely itemize that.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's asking too much, being that you're,
No.
just to cut that extra little
Like I
bit.
said, we'll review this. Anything you have to add to it, we'll add to it.
And the
we'll
parking
actually
lots,
have
you
a
guys are
meeting.
using the parking lots and we're paying for the gravel.
Well, definitely let us know what you want from the parking lots, and then we'll go from there. I mean,
A couple loads of gravel a year, if it needs it, we'll spread it. We've got the manpower to spread it, but, why should we be paying for the gravel when that's your thing down there?
They're utilizing it part-time of the year, but it's still our park.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to be supporting that.
But that's something, like I said, we'll review this. Anything you have to add to this, we'll actually come to another one of your meetings. Do you have like scheduled meetings already, like
The
set
first
up?
Monday of every month.
The first Monday of every month. Okay, so we'll put that on here.
but when baseball season starts though, I'm not sure how that's gonna work. We'll have to talk to the rest of the board, because everyone's gonna have games.
Who should we reach out to? Who runs the meetings, or who's,
Scott McGee is our league president.
okay?
You can
And
reach
I
out
have
to
his
Scott.
number.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna put on here, contact Scott.
He's just out of town for work today, so.
Unacceptable. Okay, so, yeah, I'll let everybody that didn't get to see this review it, and then we'll add to it, we'll get together.
All right, that sounds good.
We'll make it work.
Thank you.
All right,
I'm just voicing other people's concerns about
sure.
what we're doing down there and why aren't we making money? But we don't need to make money, we just need it to be, we just don't need to be putting our money into it.
Absolutely. I mean, I get it. But I see both sides. I think we all see both sides of it, so that's fine. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's
Appreciate
go
you coming
to,
up. Give us what you have.
the list, Mayor, whoever wants to. whoever can.
Yes, was there any other
got
calls
questions.
about baseball that you made? Yes, Nora.
Nora Steve, 132 32nd Street, Extension North. My brothers played baseball in West Mayfield. My son played baseball, so it's been over 65 years.
Oh, okay.
And we had it really organized. When my son was in there were 2 farm league, 2 little league, 2 pony league. I worked the concession stands for all of them, and I'm glad to see it coming back.
And we are going to have 2 farm leagues this, right? That's
Yeah.
like 2 farm league teams this year, so we've gone from 1 to 2
And
this
you
year.
answered a lot of the questions
Oh,
about
great.
field care, but another thing would be like insurance, liability insurance, and insurance on the kids, when the schedules are. And the biggest thing was, somebody was running tons of tournaments last year and the year before. Every weekend, that field was full. And, if somebody else wants to do tournaments, I think the borough needs to deal with that. And if they have your schedules, we would know
Oh, sure.
exactly, and I was gonna ask about like the dugouts and everything, and you guys already answered all that, concession stand. you
Yeah,
guys
we
have one
definitely, like I
concession stand.
said, we had one tournament in July. That's the only tournament
But
we
the
ran.
biggest thing I see is like insurance and liability.
We just reached out to Caputo, who offers it, and then we have a couple online resources.
And Scott's dad was a coach when my son played.
right,
Yeah, we have to wait too until, so we're investigating all that, but we have to wait for all the numbers to come in.
Teams are
Yeah,
established.
because then that, determines what we have to buy. So,
Okay,
that's,
yeah.
I'm sorry that's not on
So
there,
you
that was
did
talked
answer
about.
a lot of the questions that I had already.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
oh, sure.
Anybody else? Questions, comments?
How come there's no pony league?
Because we don't have enough age kids yet.
Oh, okay.
And then also, I'm Mike Stock. I sit on the Beaver County Board for the baseball. And Pony League was taken away from the Beaver County Youth Baseball League when the other organization, it's the 376 League, was developed. And that primarily consisted of, it was one school district, one Pony League team. So Blackhawk being the bigger, more dominant, program, they took over Pony League.
Okay.
Well, now, but now, since we re-invited Southside, Ambridge, and Hopewell to rejoin Beaver County, they all have existing Pony League teams. So now that establishes West Mayfield as a potential program to restart a Pony League program. So we're hoping that, as these kids continue to age and grow, that we will be able to expand and have a Pony League team. We can have everything and try and stay in-house, because I know years ago wasn't there a Legion team that was part of West Mayfield?
I think so.
It would be nice to really be able to have a whole program here that covers everything from T-ball all the way up. So, but Pony League, it's not going to happen this year. Maybe for 26, but hoping by maybe 27 we should have enough interest in trying to retain kids to be able to do that.
Yeah. Good.
Mike, I just need your address, please.
I'm at 4319 West 7th.
You did sign this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kevin has something for the presentation for the local government review committee.
Are we ready?
Oh, are we done with,
That's
done with
the end.
baseball?
Anyone else want to bring up anything?
I had one other thing.
Oh,
too.
go ahead, Mike.
Saturday, because I live right on the corner of West 7th and 45th, there was a stop sign that was clipped during snowplow. I don't know if that was brought to anyone's attention, but it's the stop sign on the very end of West 7th, facing like the intersection of 45th by Jim Brooks's place in Bergfeld's.
yeah.
That stop sign was clipped when the driver was trying to turn around in the middle of the road. And he knocked it over, threw it in the bed of the truck, and it hasn't been put back up.
Which one? West 7th and what?
West 7th and 45th
By
Jim
Brooks.
Brooks.
by Jim Brooks's place. I live right there.
Oh, look at it.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about it.
I have a picture of it laying on the side, if you want it.
Yeah, he is.
So he did put it in the truck, or he didn't?
He put it in the bed of it was one of the spreader plow trucks.
Right.
He threw it in the bed of the plow truck and took off.
Did he? And it never got put back up?
Never got put back up.
West 7th, 45th.
On it.
Okay.
All right.
That it?
That's
We
everything.
go back to citizens or
No.
just Kevin?
That's Kevin wanted to talk about something.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Well, I would concur, West Mayfield baseball is legendary. I think we had a couple of major leaguers come out of the area. Yeah, over the years. Yeah, it'd be great if we find a win-win in all this.
Working on it.
And I think the citizens' concerns are really valid here about a lot of this stuff, but we'll work through it. So I heard three things today that kind of impact what I'm about to say. One is this emergency management stuff, right? Bill explaining that Oak Council is part of that team, right? I don't know who knew that.
Not me. I didn't know it.
Know that. This process, when you have a utility
Maybe I
that's
knew it,
coming up for
forgot.
renewal, like the solid waste stuff, what is the procedure for that, right? Do you start that process 1 month out, 2 months out, 3 months out? Do you formally bring in citizens to weigh in on what they'd like to see as a service, right? That's something that came out today. And this whole thing about the ball field and the usage, right? That's another thing. A lot of communities all around us, municipalities, they have a procedure in place for how to permit the use of their ball fields and so forth, right? So all this is coming around to what I want to share with today. And Mr. President, you're going to bring up the idea of a resolution later on about a proposed handbook. So it says on your agenda here, something about a local government review committee. Well, that name has changed to Citizens Advisory Committee, based on some research around municipalities around us who have citizen advisory committees, informally, formally, part of ordinance. So our group got together and we changed the name to a CAC. And our group is 11 folks, 11 citizens right now. And we're certainly open to more, anybody who wants to be involved with this process. So what is this process? Well, we think, based on what we've observed over a long time, and I can tell you, my dad, I used to get on him too for this, around the dysfunction that exists in this room during council meetings and lack of follow-up on projects and yada, 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 right? Some of this is directly related to, we have no identified and documented procedures for a municipal operation. We have emergency management, how to deal with utility contracts that are coming due, how to deal with our park permitting and so forth, right? So our committee is volunteering our time to work with council to identify and develop municipal procedures, whatever they may be, right? So this is we want to propose a collaborative effort to help council finally do this administrative work and put down to paper the stuff that the borough does across the board, from general administration, council and committees, to what the officers and other officials do, what the office of mayor does, what the office of tax collector does, right? And really what we're talking about are standard procedures that we all should be aware of, especially mayor, you office holders, right? Council members, committees. Our committees do not have a definition. Our committees do not have duties and responsibilities assigned, right? Bill, you're shaking your head. How many years you been on council? Right? My dad served 49 years. He said, man, we never had that. It's about time we do this.
It was always whatever.
That's right.
Status quo.
It's always the
Whatever
status quo.
everybody else did before us.
It's the status quo. It's what we've always done in the past. Well, I can tell you, it's going to get us in trouble. It's going to get us in trouble in different ways. Legally, procedurally, it's going to get us in trouble. So this group of citizens want to change this. We want to help to work with council and other officials to help identify these things, right? And we're willing to do the administrative grunt work, drafting this stuff. So a standard operating procedure, if you're not aware of what these are, they're basic simple templates. What you do, who's responsible for doing it, when you do it, what are the procedures for doing it, quality control, and who's responsible? Who's accountable for making sure that that procedure is followed, right? So what we would like in exchange for our assistance, and this is really going to be a long-term project. We understand that. So we're in this for the long haul to do whatever we can to right this ship. We are requesting that council make a resolution to adopt a borough municipal operations handbook. We're not going to decide what goes in there. You're going to decide what goes in there. We're going to help you put this thing together, right? So here's a good example here. Bill, you're not going to run again, right?
Nope.
Okay. So Bill, you have an enormous amount of experience and knowledge about our sewer system. Who else knows our sewer system, right? How the process works, if there's a break, who do you call, yada, yada. What companies have we used, right? All that stuff can be put into an SOP. Bill, you could help with that so we can have continuity. And that's a great thing that these SOPs do. They provide for continuity. For new people coming on board, we've got a new council member here. Jason, this is your first year. We have 4 seats up later on. So we may have a whole bunch of new people here, right? So they need to know what to do. And so this is what we're proposing. We want this to be actionable, functional, meaningful. And we think the only way to make this happen is if you all agree that we will create a handbook that we could put these SOPs into. We've identified, just off the cuff, over 40 SOPs. Started to draft a bunch of them. Jake and I worked on a snow and ice control thing a month or so ago. Do you
And
remember?
it's really pretty simple.
It is simple, right?
Not that hard, it depends on how much meat and potatoes you put behind it.
Absolutely. And they can be as simple or as complex as you want them to be.
We want it simple.
But simple. But they do the job, right? They do the job. They tell everybody what needs to be done, how to do it, when to do it, so forth, right? So I'm really excited about this. I'm like one of those weird people that gets really excited about this stuff because this is a chance for real change, actionable change to come to our borough here. So we're excited about that. And then, when Bob presents the resolution, if you have any questions about the resolution, I offered a draft version of that to explain what it is, how it functions, and even how it's paid for. I put that into the draft resolution. So I'd be glad to answer any questions when we get to that. Okay? If you have any questions, I'll answer those.
When is your group meet?
We haven't decided. We wanted to see where we go here because we're firm on this. We need your commitment to do this handbook for us to move forward. So we wanted to wait, and then we're going to have a steering meeting. Right, our next step after this will be a steering meeting, and then we'll figure out where we go.
Sure.
And we'll start our conversations, our dialogues, the paperwork back and forth, and we'll start building this thing.
I think the easiest way, like when you contacted me and said, "Hey, let's work on this one thing," and you asked the simple question, "Can we do an SOP for snow and ice removal?" I said, "Sure." And then you just asked a couple simple questions, and they were great questions, and it definitely helped get this thing on track. And that's whenever my gears started turning. From the time that Brian gets his first phone call, what happens after that? And it's really simple, The first thing he does is, he takes the phone call. But you have to kind of go before that, and that's when my gears started turning. And I said, well, somebody has to make the decision on who grants him the permission to take that first phone call, or and who's capable of making those decisions. But yeah, it was a very simple process. I mean, I feel like we did it in a matter of a day and a half. When we start checking those down off the list, you guys come up with, SOPs, we'll come up with the information, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to note that this is a progress. This is a work in progress, right? These are working documents. So if you need to change something down the line,
You can.
you change it, right? Whatever
Now,
works.
Would this be considered, this wouldn't be considered the law. This would be a good directive to handle business. For the
Yeah.
guy that comes in and takes my spot potentially, he can look into it and say, yeah, this is what we need
Yeah,
to do.
because your duty, whether it's councilman, mayor, somebody mentioned tax collector, these are all stated in a statute, okay? Or the borough code or otherwise. I think what these folks are talking about is, well, as you said, standard operating procedure. It's like a policy manual.
Yeah.
And policy can change a little or a lot as you get different folks coming in.
I just don't want anybody to get the wrong idea that this could potentially harm them.
Oh.
Well, I've had certain people, I had one person reach out to me and said, hey, if I write this and then I don't stick to this plan, am I going to be in trouble? No, you're not going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Unless we enforce it
Because there's guidelines
some way.
there.
Yeah,
Adaptations to each part of it.
okay,
Things can go, but this is your basic start.
yeah.
If you change, you have to adapt.
And I wanted to add something to that too. When he told me he's got this group together, and I brought it up numerous times over the years about the renters' fees, landlord fees per unit per year, which I pay to Patterson, I paid to New Brighton when I had a house there. I think I pay that to White Township. And it would bring in revenue, and he's got the group together that could help us. Because I can't just say, Jenna, we want to do this, take the ball and run. It's too much putting it on her. But if we have a group that's going to be working together that could help us, we have a tax collector sitting there that could help us with she knows where a lot of the rentals are. And I think she's on that group.
But here's the
But-
thing, you have to have an ordinance like New Brighton. and
Yeah, I was gonna
East
say,
Providence.
Right, but,
And honestly,
but that's
like,
where we start.
here's one right here that is New Brighton's ordinance in their slip. I mean, you can look at it.
But that's where everybody needs to sit down and look at them and see what they are, and make sure we're massaging them to what we need.
Exactly, but if you look at one like theirs, for example, then everybody can,
Yeah, you don't reinvent the wheel, you just
yeah, there's no reason to start all
modify
over.
it.
You see, it depends how far you wanna go too. If you wanna just register, rental properties, investment properties, non-owner occupied properties, accordingly, you can do that. But you can go a step further too. You could have inspections done. You have to
Right,
have
but then you
somebody,
gotta charge more.
oh, yes, you do.
So I don't wanna get into that. I have.
Well, I'm
few
just saying,
houses
you
here.
can, you can
I don't
start
have
off
to pay
with,
for all
Which
that.
technically in our ordinances does say every time somebody moves in and moves out of a rental, we're supposed to be checking that. But we don't know who those people are. So there's,
We don't
there's,
know who would come and go, when,
No.
when.
no, I mean, only if you really know that that house is owned by, a certain place, then.
That falls like under ordinances or the occupancy permits. When I give an occupancy permit to somebody, then they rent the place out and this person trashes the house, takes out the GFIs or something. The next person moves in, that place does not pass anymore.
Right.
And technically, I could be going and doing that, but I don't know who's coming and going.
Right, that's the problem, without having this form filled out, I have one right
And
now, I
actually
got
sending
a
them
law for
to
East
the
Rochester.
landlords.
But the key part of it is, you can put anything in place that you want, but if you don't have some way to enforce
force
it
it, that's right.
and go out and police it to make sure it's happening, you're wasting your time. And that's been a lot of the key problem, trying to get people to say, I can go do this. I got time. You're retired now, but when you were working, how many times did you go out and check a house? If somebody called.
It all
If you
starts
don't
with-
have a way
But
to
if you
do
don't,
that
if you
and
don't have a
enforce it,
list
you're
of
wasting your time.
who as the landlord owns, you'll never be able to do it.
And all I
don't
did-
Even if you wanted to, you can't, because you just don't know.
I'm all for what you're saying, and I agree 100%.
Like some of these other ones also have that 3-strike limit,
All right,
for
we
if
better
you're in
get back
trouble.
to business here.
But if you just put more rules
This
and
was just
regulations
something I
out
wanted
there,
to
don't
bring up.
follow them, you're wasting your time.
This is something I wanted to add to it and that's why we're talking about putting the SOP thing together.
Okay, sir, thank you.
So now, what's the next step for us? What do you recommend that we do? Do we have to, we have to do the
So I
resolution?
wanna hear the resolution, see what
Yes.
you're gonna bring up, and you're gonna bring it
Yeah,
out
you know what, I
right?
thought I had it with me, you sent that to me.
Yeah, send it to Jenna.
I didn't get a resolution.
I can read it to you. It's not that long.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
can read it to you.
That way, and then you can send it to Joe.
Yeah,
and,
can you get copies, cause I'd like to make sure I understand what's going on.
Yeah, so the resolution is an establishing resolution, basically. It's basically council resolving to create the resolution. And it says, be it ordained and enacted by the council of the Borough of West Mayfield, that from and after the passage of this resolution, the terms contained herein shall be in force and effect. Whereas the Borough of West Mayfield functions and carries out its duties and responsibilities as a public agency through a wide variety of municipal operations, and is in the best interest of the borough to identify and document municipal operations in the form of standard operating procedures to ensure common awareness, consistency of execution, quality control, and accountability. And it is desirable that all standard operating procedures should be available in a shared administrative document. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved as follows. Council authorizes the creation of the Municipal Operations Handbook. The handbook shall contain an official collection of SOPs deemed necessary and relevant to the effective and efficient operation of the borough. The Operations Handbook shall be considered a working document, updated and revised as directed and as necessary. The Borough Secretary Treasurer shall be responsible for maintaining and distributing copies of the handbook. The President of Council or designate shall be responsible for ensuring that the contents are at all times relevant, current, and up to date. The cost of maintaining the Municipal Operations Handbook shall be considered an expenditure of the general fund. 406.34, the code is other general government administration, advertising, printing, and binding. That's it. So this is just authorizing the existence of this, right, of the SOPs, but all the details, can be determined
Is that something we can do right now? Authorize it right now?
No, I think you have to advertise it first.
That's
You,
resolution.
you don't need to advertise because you only advertise an ordinance. You're
Oh,
not
okay,
passing,
this isn't an
you're passing an
ordinance.
ordinance. A resolution generally is to be a written document. Motions generally can be just oral, okay? But they're recorded in the minutes, obviously. But this, Kevin, this is something that's a written document, correct? Or potentially, sure, should be.
Oh, yeah, resolution should be written.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Because it's signed by the president.
Right.
Attested by the borough secretary.
Right.
Sealed.
So I think I'm answering your question, Paul. It should be, yeah, it's something that needs to be voted upon and signed by, like you just said, by the relevant persons.
So you can email everybody that, and then you can look it over, make sure it's good, and then next meeting we can decide on it.
Yeah.
Is that good?
If you can email it to me too, Kevin, please.
Mhm.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Email it to Jenna, and she can, if you don't have all of our, you do have all of our stuff. Okay.
He probably does.
Runs the website.
I'll send it to everybody and, yeah, I mean, this is just my, draft version. So if you want to add whatever you need to do to this, right? But I said, we're not going to move forward until you guys, right, take a positive actual step forward on this. Go meet us with this, on this,
That
okay?
sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. I know you got a lot of work cut out for you on that one.
Sure do. That's why I'm not running for office, Bob.
You should still consider it.
Please.
Okay, so I don't think we need a motion to the back. No.
We
So
just
let's go to
did
old
citizens.
business.
We didn't do citizens, so.
We did do citizens.
You got one citizen.
Starting with baseball, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Jeff's not here, so he has nothing anyways. That's on the streets, building and grounds, Jake.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up the GMC pickup truck again. It was brought up to me that Jeff had Brian order a bunch of parts to get the GMC pickup truck fixed. Apparently he was unaware that he needed to get permission to do so, because he spent, any idea how much?
It's over 500. When's this happen?
Apparently it happened sometime this last month. So the parts have not been installed yet. They're all still in boxes and everything else. So I figured it would be a good idea to bring it up tonight to discuss what our future plans are for that.
What's this truck used for?
This truck is our pickup truck. It's our kind of like get around truck.
Get around driver.
Yeah, it also does have a snow plow.
Yeah, you usually do that now and stuff like that.
Brian, what are your thoughts on that truck? How much life is left in that truck?
As far as the running wise, it runs okay, but the bed is rotted off that thing.
So it's gonna need a bed.
It's gonna need a bed, there's two of the cross members on the frame that are rotted out. And it's, I mean,
If the
all of it
part of the
can be
frame,
fixed,
if
but-
part of the cross members on the frame are starting to go, then
The one that,
it's pretty much a liability.
Actually, the one that holds the gas tank in it, it's.
Yeah, it's attached to the frame.
It's next to
It's a
get the
liability.
strap on it.
The issues that we're facing is if we get rid of this truck, we are losing a truck. We are losing a snowplow, and we do not have another pickup truck here. I know we don't have it in the budget to buy another one. So our cost to patch that truck up would cost us how much? Just
Including
to-
the parts.
How far do you want to
Including
go?
the cross members.
Let me ask a question. How many miles do you think we put on that truck a month?
Since I've been here, they ain't been 100 miles put on.
My point. Do we really need the truck? If we're not only putting 100 miles
Well,
on it, something must be put on these other vehicles.
the reason we haven't put miles on that truck is because of the condition that it's in.
Right.
Previous to that, that truck was used every day.
And that truck should be used instead of clearing out the big trucks all the time.
But
Anytime
we
you have
just
to
put-
run down
we
to
just proved to
Depot.
ourselves, because it's in bad shape, we really don't need it, but we've only put like 100 miles on it.
Well, no. The reason we don't put the miles on it is because it was in the bad shape. But if we fix it up, if it cost us, could that truck be fixed for $2,000?
I'm gonna put it under 3.
If that truck is
hold on.
fixed,
You're saying the cross members. Is that also fixing those?
Yeah. You gotta pull the bed off to fix them.
And you know, it sounds like you need another bed.
Yeah, oh,
No, whole nother bed, cross members. How
What's
much
it gonna
time,
cost to
What year is
grab
that
a
truck?
bed for that?
it's an 04.
and how much time are you gonna be putting into fixing this truck while working?
We do have time in the winter time to do that type of work.
Winter time's not much left of that.
Hopefully.
We've got some time, but there is off times too. I mean, we've got rainy days that the guys can do things. I'm kind of
But
trying
we
to
wanna
kill
keep
two birds
sinking the
with one
money into
stone
this
right
truck that we're not gonna be using for the next couple of months, and it's gonna be down, so they can work on it.
Or do you wanna just get rid of the truck and have them run the crap out of the big trucks? And now we need a big truck that's gonna cost us a lot more.
See if we can find a cheaper truck that we could use right now,
You're
get
not
rid of that
gonna
one.
find anything. That's the problem.
Let me
Trucks are
get to this.
ridiculous.
Now, you're fine to get to, if you wanna go to another truck. But the problem is, we use these big trucks for plowing.
Mm-hmm.
The more you let them sit, the worse they get. That's why I had
Hey,
to put
sometimes you better off
rotors,
using
brakes, everything on that big truck, cause it's sitting in that garage over there and it's in dampness. And it just rots to death. Sit.
Well, I'm not
But
saying
with
not to
wire-
drive it. I'm just saying we don't wanna load the miles up on it. You know, take
We're
it
not that
out
big of a
once a
city.
The more you drive them, the better it is.
Yeah, I'm
And that's fine. What can we sell? What do you think would get out of this truck if we put it up for sale? Oh, believe it or not.
You get $1,000, $1,500 out of it.
So and that's why I brought this up. We sell it for $1,000, but we also have the plow as well that we can sell.
The plow, the bed attack, you have the solder or anything better?
No.
Just the plow?
no, just have to plow it.
So we'll get a couple grand, $2-3 grand out of selling all of that stuff off. Or we put a couple grand, few grand in it and we keep it. It's up to council. But again, the downfall is if these
What's
guys
next
have to
on that?
drive to Pittsburgh to pick up one small thing for a piece of pipe or something, we're taking a big truck.
Yeah, see, that's
We're
what I
going
don't
on
like to
Yeah, if
see.
you're doing distances, I can understand that.
And there's times, there's been plenty of times Brian and I have had to go out to get one piece of pipe or one catch basin lid or a manhole cover or something like that. That stuff happens.
And that's where we need to look at the price of having it, go pick it up versus having it delivered.
Yeah.
Because sometimes delivery is cheaper, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
For certain stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Can we bring it up to a vote? Save it, keep it, or just,
Table it to next meeting.
I don't want to table it to the next
Wait.
meeting. We're running out of time.
We're running out of time, man.
If we're
I
gonna
can't
fix-
keep
if It's
tabling
gonna
it.
be down for the
I don't know
winter.
what's
we need
gonna,
to get
what
it.
else is gonna be on this truck that's gonna go
I don't
down?
see what the problem is, tabling it for a month. I'd like to, yeah, if we have any way of knowing how often we're doing these Pittsburgh runs, we're
Well,
making long distance trips.
I've
How
got-
often do you guys do that?
Not all.
5
got-
times a year,
I've got
10 times a
$500,
year, 30 times?
$600 worth of parts that need to get returned.
Well, I understand
now.
that, but I don't, I can't make an educated, safe guess or comment without knowing.
What are we gonna know?
Other information.
What are we gonna know next month that we
Well,
don't know
that's
today?
what I'm asking, what kind of mileage do we put on doing trips? If that seems to be like that would be our biggest thing, and how often do you go to Pittsburgh? Not that you don't do it, but how often?
Is that the only things you've seen on this truck that's actually bad?
Well, other than the parts that I bought here lately for it, hip and arm, idler arm, they're all bad on it.
Yeah, it's getting older and older as it goes.
Yeah.
And sitting doesn't do
For-
anything.
I will say as far as motor tranny, I don't think you're gonna have a problem with it.
Do you think we're better off selling it, get whatever we can out of it? And what would it cost us to replace that with something decent? And I'm not saying something really great and new, I'm saying something decent.
With the plow?
Well, we
If
keep the
plow on
plow,
it.
we keep
Yeah,
the
for-
mounts and we keep the plow here.
Well, if you got the same kind of truck,
Yeah.
you could use the mount off that truck.
Are you still able to get those trucks?
Yes.
You still finding those?
Yeah. Go down south.
Yeah.
I see them all the time.
You
We're
have
still
any idea what
looking.
they'll run? Any idea what a truck down south would run?
You'd find one under 15. Cause them trucks
They're
are
getting up in
that
value.
that truck, if it's in good shape, they're worth a lot of money. Because they're old.
Yes.
You know,
Then you can work on them.
yeah. But, and I'm sure I could find one. That's what you're saying.
All right, so the question here is, do we return the parts and start looking for a different truck? I think that would be
My
our,
vote is yes, get rid of the parts.
send the parts back, get rid of the truck eventually, while we're looking for another truck to replace it. Don't put all this money into
And
it.
I'll vote to return the parts.
Don't put all this money into it, because you put all this money into it, what's it worth? Yeah.
What else is gonna go bad on it?
It's-
Cab?
No, I'm saying, he's saying as is.
Well, yeah, I mean,
If we're gonna
Somebody
fix it,
just-
then why do we wanna get rid of it?
it must've been Jeff or something, but somebody just stuck some rockers on it, and they're just a couple screws on each end of it.
Exactly.
You know, the rockers are gone.
So the rocker going on the cab, bed's going, cross member's
The
going.
bed is gone.
You got parts, you got about $500-600 worth of parts.
In your personal opinion,
Them flares
it's time to
on the
get rid of
bed,
it.
there's hardly anything holding them on.
They said, what do you think about that truck? Is it worth putting money into it? The $500-600 into it just to get it working again? Then have to spend more money a little bit later on?
Well, that 500 or 600 is only the parts we just bought
Yeah.
for it. That's
That's
just,
not including the
What
bed,
parts?
That's not gonna
whatever.
fix anything,
Yeah, that's not
he's
bad.
talking
Yeah.
about.
what parts are those?
That's a new hitch, because we had a chipper on going back and forth to the brush pile back here. The hitch just folded right out,
No, that thing was free.
you know?
No, it just crumbled the,
That chipper don't weigh nothing,
Yeah.
and it,
But is it gonna be worth it to put this $500-600 into that truck? Then they go out and have to spend another, what, $2-3 grand on new bed,
yeah.
all these other
But it's
parts?
about between $1,200 and $1,500.
They pay for your time to go fix
Well
it.
done.
And to buy another truck right now,
it's not
we're already,
feasible.
our budget's already shot.
We're not gonna get anything for the truck, but if we throw $2,500 at it, I
Then
don't
we're
think that
better off
would
doing it
break
that
us.
way then.
And how long will it last?
Yeah.
If you do put a few grand into it, how long is it gonna?
Well, it lasts another year.
Well, you put those kind of parts on it, yeah, you got a few.
Well, maybe we're better off doing that and hoping to get a grant at some point to get a.
Do that, then you're gonna wanna keep this part that you got now, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna be around $3 grand just to fix this truck. Including your time.
Yeah, including my time.
Basically worthless now.
But you're never gonna get another truck for 3 or 4 more years for 3 or 4 grand.
No,
I would think it would behoove us to
fix it.
keep it and fix it.
I'll put it wherever you got along.
Let's go that
What
route
do you
then.
guys think? That's-
Yeah.
Sounded.
We don't have it in the budget to buy another truck, so
No,
I would say fix it.
It's been a rock and a hard place. It
Yeah.
just so happens that it's like a rock.
I just don't want anything else to start going bad on the truck as soon as you get
I
something
mean, of
snapped.
course, I'll find whatever I can cheapest I can afford, you know,
Yeah.
but
Just
do I
cross
have to pay
members.
like to find a bed for it?
All right.
Send them
do we
over
need
to me and then I'll get approval from council. How's that? He gets prices, figure out what you come up with, and then shoot me over what you got, and then I'll send it to
The
council.
bed's a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna
Sounds good.
approve that and
Do what you can with what
fix
you
it when
got.
you can fix it.
I might even have this parts for it, like, and cross members in the frame.
Good.
I got a couple of trucks down my place that I could probably cut the cross members out of them well now.
All right. Settled.
hey,
Do
Jake.
we need what? Do we need a vote on that? Okay.
Yeah, we don't have that in the agenda though.
Anybody want to make a motion
What are we making,
to go ahead and repair this truck?
we gotta put a dollar value on it?
What's that?
No, just with
Just
the
the
parts that
parts
he has
that
now,
we
then he's gonna
already
get the
have.
pricing for it.
Keep the
For the
parts that you already have.
$500.
Yeah.
We're gonna fix the truck up, and yeah, I make a motion, we go ahead and keep them, put them on, if they're valid parts that they need.
We don't need a roll
You can
call.
buy a bunch of
right?
stuff.
Yeah, we need a roll call.
Okay.
Well, no, that's what it needs to,
Yeah.
just get it inspected right now.
Okay, then I make a motion, we go ahead and keep the parts.
Copy
Keep the
that.
parts and put them on. Just second it.
Alright, so while I'm also on old business.
All in favor?
Alright.
Opposed? Okay.
Do you wanna go over any of your list, any concerns, comments?
Well,
the last
Jeff took over the emergency calls, which I should be getting first call on emergency calls.
So that's part of an issue that I was gonna bring up.
That bounced back and forth depending on who was ahead of the street.
We need to come up with an agreement. Part of the problem that we have is Jeff doesn't answer his phone.
I understand that.
There is no communication recently whatsoever. Just today I was on the phone with Brian. I was leaving for work. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. Typically the way that we ran it was Brian would shoot me a text message and say, county called me out. I'm headed out, or I'm headed to work now. So I at least knew that he was at work. Well, part of the problem now is while he's out this morning, he says, Gerald's out. So what do you mean? I didn't call him out. He didn't call him out. And nobody knows if Jeff called him out. So like there's no communication. That's a problem. We have to have communication. It's costing us money. Did Gerald need to be out this morning?
No, it was just
This is another part of the problem.
First thing we need to do is find out why he was out. You know, if Jeff called him out, then we need
well,
to
Jeff
find out
called him
why.
out. I asked him today this morning when we got back.
Jeff called Gerald out.
Did Jeff call you?
Jeff called me.
So Jeff took
So
it upon himself.
don't get me wrong,
So who called you out?
I came out a little bit early because I was leaving at 9 o'clock because I had a tooth pulled.
Okay.
And I come out early to make sure the roads were done. And then when I was coming up over Harbison, I seen Gerald out. And I didn't call him, Jeff did. Or Jeff called him, but Jeff didn't tell me that he called him. And
I know when we first set this whole thing up with Brian, we kind of gave him the role of the street supervisor for back here. Everything goes through him. If he needs anything as far as borough is concerned, money, operations, things like that, he comes to us. But he's lost all control.
You knew that was gonna happen when this changed. Because you knew it. If you didn't, then shame on you.
Yeah, but that was
But that, I mean, that's a
we
different way.
never, yeah, that's the problem.
And we need to come up with a way to do that, to see you know or not, and I think it's exactly what he's talking about.
Right.
You have a policy or guideline in place.
But again, it's not
It
law.
shouldn't change.
That's not
Well,
law.
that's
That's
what's going on
just,
now, it's changed by street committee.
yep.
Because I've seen it change 4 or 5 times. You know, well, I just don't, I let him get calls.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be law.
The Louis
No, I know that.
I mean, if you have a set policy, and it seems to me, and I'm not part of this, I understand that, if somebody's gonna make the call about who goes out, there should be one person,
Yeah.
primarily, one person, unless,
That's what it is.
yeah, unless he's sick or something or unavailable.
But it was changing every time you got a new street commissioner, he did it the way he wanted it. Instead of him call, I want him to call me.
I don't see how you could do it, other than having one person responsible.
But it was changing to one person that was responsible every time you got a new street commissioner. If
If
I was street commissioner and I said, I want to be notified, and I'll call Brian.
Okay,
Jake got on and says, I don't want to be notified, just let him call Brian.
okay.
So it's being changed every time you got a new person. You know, their county only contacts one person. They're not gonna make a bunch of
Well, no,
phone
they
calls.
will do 2. So if he doesn't answer, they call me.
If you don't answer.
Right. It works really well. But I don't wanna wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to have to call him when they could just call the source. You know what I
It
mean?
makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
I said the same thing, but other people didn't. They wanted that control.
But our issue is
And if you wrote up
if the
guidelines
phone's
for
not
this, how'd
being
you
answered,
Yeah, I think
now it's kinda
you've been trying to
getting
get a
a
hold
little
of him. He's not answering for Jenna. What else you got?
good.
Yeah,
oh, okay. But it's another thing with him calling Gerald out. Most of the time, we don't need 2 trucks out. That's 2 trucks of salt, 2 trucks using fuel, we got 2 paying 2 guys out when it only takes 1 guy, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours of salt the whole place,
yeah.
you know? I understand what Jeff said, he said it gets done faster, but when it gets done to that point,
Yeah,
anyway.
but now we're paying two guys
Well, it
2
only
hours versus
takes-
one guy.
And now it only takes 1 hour for both of them to go out, and
That's
guess
what I'm
what?
saying.
We're paying them 4 hours, so that's 8 hours.
We're still paying 2 hours for each guy.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, you got 2 trucks of salt out to where one truck can, you know, do the whole thing.
We'll look into that. What else you got?
But these are things to
Well, Jeff ain't
me,
been
council
picking up-
needs to sit down with Jeff.
Jeff ain't been picking up
And say,
receipts.
Jeff, this is where it is, this is what you need to do.
They've been picking up what?
Have you been
Receipts.
getting the receipts from Jeff?
You've asked him for them?
They're still back there.
What about paychecks?
Herein lies part of the problem.
Jeff's been giving you
Nobody
the
wants that to
numbers?
happen. Well, everybody wants him to do his job, but he's not doing his job.
Well,
As president, you have nothing. The only thing you can do is move him off that committee.
I think that's what we're gonna do at this point.
You know, I mean, that's the only thing you can.
Well, you know what,
You can't terminate him.
he was asked to order salt and we ran out of salt.
Yeah. We ran out of salt and
That's what I'm
it
saying.
took, what, 2 weeks? Luckily, we didn't get no snow.
That's the bad part about being
For that
president.
2 weeks.
You're in
Well,
charge, you're accountable, but you have no authority.
I'll put Jake back on. You're back on,
I feel
Jake.
like I've been on this
I
entire
said, did
time.
you ever get off?
Really.
My phone
right.
still rings nonstop.
You're back on. If Jeff calls, just tell him he's,
Oh, you
No
need to
longer.
contact
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will.
Yeah.
But he won't answer. I've called him too. He won't answer.
Give it
I'll
You
text
can
him.
call,
Yeah,
text,
say,
email.
let's send him a text.
Yeah, you can't avoid it entirely, right?
All right, let's move on. What else you got?
Now I was wondering what was going on with
True.
our time card. And we're supposed to be doing it on computer.
Um,
How you doing? How you doing it?
So they're just keeping it the way that they've been doing it. I'm not
You're doing your
changing.
punch cards?
Yep, punch cards, keep it that way.
Keep it on punch
Yep.
card. Okay.
That's like I told
But
you, yep, we're not
But
changing
you're
anything
turning
with it.
those in.
Yep, they're all coming to me.
Well, that's another thing. I gave them all to Jenna
Yeah.
here the other day. Jeff ain't even turning the cards in.
I came and personally got them.
So you're supposed to basically come
The
down and
only
deliver.
reason, the
Yeah,
only
he's
reason
supposed to
that the
allow-
supervisor or the council member is supposed to do is to approve overtime. Yeah, so if there's overtime, and he's supposed to initial, so yeah, he gets approved. Because even when we were doing it back there on the computer, there was overtime, and I thought, was this approved overtime? And where does it go? I don't know, are we still doing comp time and all on this new system, or everything just been paid straight out?
How is that working for comp? Oh, no, we're not doing comp.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, we do not do comp anymore.
So what did we do with all the comp that they had left over from last year?
They never had comp.
Sure, they have comp hours.
Yeah, we had
You had comp?
Yeah,
You used all that time.
because we had it on there every time they worked 40 hours, they got
Oh,
4 hours.
you're calling it comp. It was,
PTO.
yeah, PTO time, same difference,
Same
I guess. Yeah, they
Time
are,
off, I call it.
they are calculating their PTO, correct?
Jeff is supposed to be doing that, and that has not been given to me at all.
He can't even come to the meetings. He couldn't make it last week or this week.
Well,
Yeah, he's supposed to be keeping track. That's his job, and he's not.
So I said, I didn't come back here and adjust these
Well,
computer
that's just it. You know,
programs at all
We're
because
supposed
we
to
weren't
work
using it.
4 hours per 40 hours, right?
You get 4 hours if you work 40 hours in 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, how do we even know what's going on? Cause he ain't doing the cards or.
I don't know. That's what I said before they
I don't
put the
know if
system
I
in, they
had
didn't
it or
have it
not.
worked out right. It
I'm
wasn't all
gonna
ironed
have to
out.
work with you two on that one. Or just you.
Okay, was there anything else?
But that was the process why
No,
the
there's a couple
supervisor got
things
the
Jake's
cards
gonna
first,
straighten
approved
out.
overtime.
For everybody.
Yeah, and it's not.
That's all I got for old.
Okay, thanks, Jake. Ryan's not here. Bill, sewers and sanitation.
I have something for you.
We do have one thing on there, sewers and sanitation.
Did Ray get paid or did he
Well,
turn
that's
it
what I was gonna
down?
bring up.
Yeah.
I had a message from Ray. I didn't get a message. He told me he spent $300 the day he was up here for the sewer that one, the telephone pole went through. Well, I didn't have that information when I applied for the reimbursement, which we did get, by the way. We got reimbursed them all the money that we spent.
From the telephone company.
Except I don't think I have the money we paid
Okay,
Jake
later.
either. Excuse me. But he told me afterwards that he had like $300. I said, okay, well, whatever. I don't know how much of that's our liability versus homeowner's liability. If the homeowner has any, because they called him up to do the thing, but even though it was found to be in our main.
Which should have
But
gone.
then he
to-
later on, I
okay.
got something later on said that he must pay $300. I never got a receipt. I never got a
So
bill.
he should take his receipt to,
I told
Duquesne Light then.
whoever and said, turn a bill in. Or you can, and that's what I was gonna say, or you can tell them to turn it into Duquesne Light. I
I'd
don't
say
know.
at this point, tell him turn it into Duquesne.
I just said turn a bill into council, and if council wants to do that with Duquesne Light, you can. But I think they're gonna consider it closed because they already gave us, how much did they give us, remember, $600?
$672.
$700.
No, I'd still push it their way. I would think.
I don't think we're gonna do
Usually
it.
he doesn't bill for like a year.
Who?
Right.
Well, that's what I said. I can't pay you without a bill. I didn't get a bill.
Yeah, he does bills once a year, I think.
So do we need to make a decision on that? Like, how's that?
Yeah, I'd like to have.
I would just call him and have him, give him the information for Duquesne Light. I would say,
They give the right information for Duquesne Light.
wouldn't you think?
And then report back with his findings. If they deny him, we have to settle up with him. He did camera our line.
Yeah, he did some work. We owe some money to it, I believe. I don't know if we owe it all.
Duquesne Light caused the problem.
He did, but they.
Yeah,
also
we already
returned the
billed
bill.
them once. I don't think they're gonna keep this thing. Well, I got more
I
money.
mean, you
I
only
got
billed
more
him
money.
for whatever. You didn't have his bill.
But that's what I'm saying. If Duquesne Light says, sorry, we already paid that, he's gonna come to us, you know that. And are we gonna
Yeah, but they
pay?
won't, basically he paid for this,
Yeah.
for
You have
for
to.
these guys, not for him.
If they don't pay you.
Yeah, if they don't pay, we'll pay.
Yeah.
So my point is, why don't we just pay him and then let us do
Whatever
Duquesne
you
Light?
wanna do.
Yeah, if you wanna
You wanna
reach out
deal
to
with it.
Duquesne, that's fine.
You know what I'm saying, hey, Duquesne Light,
Just tell him you just got the bill from him.
That's fine.
Okay, that'll work.
Just make sure I get the,
did he send you a bill?
No.
Because I told, I don't know who said something about it. I think you responded, that sounds good to me. Yeah,
He called me,
He needs
asking.
to,
yeah, I
I'll call
didn't
Ray
get
too.
anything from him.
I'll tell Ray to make sure he submits the bill.
Okay. Nothing else,
And
right?
then I'll get a hold of Duquesne Light and say, hey, this was missed, can we add this back in? See what they do.
Okay.
That was all I had under old.
All right, finance and litigation, anything under,
Yeah, that's one of the things we were added to the agenda, that was the
Engineering,
engineering firms. Looking at all of them that I've gotten, I've got 3, and apparently, I think Janet got 2. You're pretty much better off staying where you're at now, Whitmer, because some of the companies are saying that 10% of what your cost is gonna be for, like, say, paving the roads. So if you have $100,000, that's $10,000 they would charge you. So your best option right now is Whitmer.
all right.
did we ever notify Whitmer at all? If they were kind of our engineers.
I think they just probably always figure that we're.
Because right now, they're stores for a year.
Because we should notify them, because I think they did send some paperwork out.
There was nobody competitive.
That I can get a hold of, they'll respond back to me.
Wow.
Okay, is that it?
That's it for that, but I know Janet has on here about grants. I think she was gonna talk about, for Parks and Rec, about the grant that we put in for last year.
Yeah, she gave me the information today
Okay.
about it.
Okay, so we'll go to, well, Jeff's not here under ordinance, which he won't have any more. Parks and Recreation, she gave you something?
Yeah, she said that basically we just didn't get the grant from Vogel that we applied for last year. We did not receive it, but that's all the information I have.
We didn't meet the cutoff.
Yeah, we didn't.
We only had so much money that they brought in, and only certain people got it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a fundraising kind of grant. So,
All right. Well, what else I was gonna talk about was the rental payment thing again, which I did, so I got nothing else. Solicitor,
I don't have anything, sir.
nothing under hold. Okay, so we'll go to the mayor.
Oh, we went over that
Okay.
for the,
Yeah, for the,
the shoot.
okay. So new
Oh,
business.
they're having.
Jeff's not here. He's gonna talk about salt for trucks, I guess.
No, that was me.
Oh, okay.
He told me it was that.
Wood for the salt bin, what's that?
There's two big holes in that.
Yeah.
Second salt that
Oh.
needed.
All right.
You have
What
to
do you
repair
do for
the-
that?
Oh, we already fixed it.
Oh. Okay, thanks.
Jeff said go get
I
it.
make a motion, we go and fix it.
Yeah, okay.
That was $400.
Really?
Yeah, see, he doesn't understand, he's supposed to be getting approval for that kind of stuff.
Well, we don't need to
No, it's-
understand anymore.
Was it kind of like a need, like an emergency kind of need? Was it gonna, the stuff gonna be falling out if it didn't get
Would
fixed?
it be considered an
It would have
emergency
just spilled into
situation?
the other side of the other salt.
It would have been an emergency situation.
What did you have to buy?
That tongue groove too.
Could have just used regular two, that's it.
It wouldn't handle, you know, when we're pushing in with machines.
There's a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
side load.
All right. So that's done.
Anti-skid.
Anti-skid on Boyd Street, whatever that means.
That's all he told me.
Okay. Well, let's go to buildings, grounds, and equipment, Jake.
All right. So salt for trucks. Obviously, we had some issues with salt. We actually got really lucky. Came to the very end. I think as we were salting the last road, the salt finally, the last of our salt in our bin, the salt finally came in. So we just missed that. We are gonna have to, like I said, I worked with Kevin on a SOP for that. It is always a good idea to have a lot of salt on hand. Salt doesn't go bad, so,
Just wash it away.
yeah.
You
But once
keep
it's
it
in the
covered.
bin,
Yeah.
yeah, if it's in the bin, it's okay. So, we're gonna try and keep at least 4 to 6 loads in at all times. Once we lose one side, we'll call on order the other side. So as soon as one side's empty, we'll
Where are we
move it.
storing the anti-skid? Is that out back of the thing here?
Yeah,
Fuel shed?
yeah, and then they just mix it as they need it. Sometimes, like if we know if we're anticipating a storm and we kind of have an idea what's going to happen, they'll go out and mix a whole bunch, and then they're ready to go for
Ready
the
to
next
go,
day.
right.
So,
Do we, these ice, because we get a lot of ice storms like that, are we spreading salt for those? Straight salt?
We're doing straight salt right now.
Do you think that's a good idea? I mean,
if it's melting, but once it gets below a certain, it gets to that,
where it's gonna melt and refreeze.
yeah, we start running anti-skid.
Okay. I was just gonna ask if you're doing that. If you're running that, that'd be a good thing to do.
So we need to discuss a salt order for this year. They actually just started taking our orders, our projected orders.
That's the same company?
Yes, CoStar. I believe that's all good. That right, Eli, all goes through CoStar.
You know what the numbers are?
So this year, I don't know offhand what I ordered. It was a lot. I think it was 106.
I was talking price per ton.
Oh no. No, and that changes too. By the time we order it, the price will change again.
Well, they usually give us a price per ton up front.
They give us a certain amount that we can use. Amount of money towards that. I don't remember how he explained it.
Co-stars, after they get our order,
Yeah.
that's when they put the orders in and they send it out for bid, and that's when it comes back. Our price is always ridiculously high. It's a Pennsylvania state thing, we get screwed. Butler County, all the counties around us pay less, we wind up paying more.
Yeah.
No
When do
way.
they give us the number of what?
After we turn everything in March, and then later in the summer, when the contract is announced, that's when we get how much.
I thought they told us it was $80 a ton, so we said we're only gonna do 4 trucks.
No, we have to give them our amount, and historically, it's been 110, which is 5 loads. Yeah. And then we can go 40% above. So
Yep.
we're obligated for 2/3 of that.
Okay.
Yes.
But now you're saying you wanna keep 4 to 6 in there.
Yes, but that's not a big deal. I mean,
No, once we get it there, it's not.
yeah. And I'd rather get it now, and if we have more left over for the next year,
I'd
it'll
rather get it now
probably save
too,
us
I'm
some
sure.
money.
Because
Did
enough
they
was above.
allow you a percentage over top of that?
What did you say?
Yes, we can
40%?
go over.
You can go
We can't go under.
60% higher, but you must buy
Yeah, there's a minimum.
a minimum. Like the
Yes.
1 year there were 2 or 3 loads ordered at the end of the year. Not sure why, but we had full salt shed. So the following year, we barely bought the minimum. So it kind of comes and goes.
I was just kind of thinking, like this, we don't know what snow we're gonna get per year.
No.
Right, that's why,
But like this year, you know, we've already went through, I don't know how many loads. You know,
It's a very tough game to
yeah,
play.
it, like I
We'll
said,
never know.
6 years we did the
Feast your
110.
But it would rather have it, not need it, and need it, not have it. So Brian and I are gonna sit down and we're gonna go over how much we actually used this year, and we're gonna try and base it off of this year again. It's the best I can come up with.
Yeah, easy enough getting your receipts.
Oh, yeah. So we are gonna be putting it in order for that. I just wanted to let everybody know.
How much anti-skid we got left?
we have none right now.
We should be getting some.
Well, I talked to the guy today. It's when he wants to start his machines up because it's been too cold.
So if we have to, we'll have to go elsewhere to get it.
I asked him about, I figure about 2 more loads of anti-skid would get us through this year.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be asking a few of his delivery guys if they would bring us a couple of, I told him it's a real pain to take the salters out of the truck.
Yep.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just gonna
Get out
bring
and
that
get
up.
anti-skid and
Winter time's been difficult for that. So
So we need to load up early next year, so,
Yeah,
yeah, before you put the bins on.
downtime, start trucking it over.
but I asked him to set it up to bring us at least 2 loads.
Now, the anti-skid we're keeping behind the shed, are we losing any of that when it rains and stuff? Do we need, something that we need to put down?
Well, this year we
Plastic
haven't
liner.
really stockpiled anti-skid. I just mix it right area and run the salt.
Yeah,
We've
but
been
we're
hauling
talking
it,
about
so-
stockpiling it.
Yeah.
Do we need to put something down to try to trap it?
It needs to be covered, yeah.
Next thing up on my list, I have, we're trying to think about the future right now. Our alleys are looking rough, real rough right now. Once summer's over, we're gonna wanna jump on it as fast as we can with some slag again. So hopefully within the next month, I'm gonna get at least 2 triaxle loads brought up here for stock. And depending on how fast that disappears, we may be ordering more. Just want to make everyone aware of it. I don't know, do I need to get approval for buying gravel?
What's it cost?
It's cheap. It's
I mean,
$4 a ton. It's
To
cheapest
me,
stuff
I think that's one of the
necessity.
necessities of
Mhm.
doing the boroughs. I don't, unless you're ordering any excessive amounts, I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, the problem right now is it's going to be kind of excessive because we have no stockpile on anything.
But we need to,
Which you have to restock. which
still just need to
there,
report
so.
that you're buying this much money.
Yeah.
And we do it.
Well, we're gonna be preparing for that, just keeping everyone in the loop on that one. Then I got some correspondence for a fire insurance escrow discussion.
Bring that up under ordinance.
Okay, I'll bring that up under ordinance.
Yeah.
So West Fifth, I got a message from some citizens. They're having issues with cracks all over West Fifth on the brand new road.
Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, they are cracking.
On the edges.
The edges are cracking pretty bad. Is there anything we can do about that? Is there anything we should be doing about that?
If they didn't go along and fill in, because I've told everybody, I keep telling everybody, when we do the roads, you gotta go back and do the berms.
We did.
Because if you do the berms and they're even, then they shouldn't be cracking.
How much that was picked up with the snow removal.
And when I went down there the one day, I went down and drove by and looked, I only saw one spot where the one edge was cracked and pretty good, but it was a pretty good drop off there too. So if the drop offs are there, they're never gonna do anything about it.
Okay.
That's why I tell everybody, we got to make sure that after we pay, we got to do burns, because if you don't, every time somebody drives off the edge, mailman, whoever, they're gonna crack.
Right. Water authority road repairs. So just about everybody in this borough is aware of all the issues that we've been
Yeah,
having
water
with,
mains.
water mains. That's creating a new problem where they're gonna have a lot of repairs to do. I noticed in a few other small towns around us, their repairs are done differently than ours, and I asked a couple people about that, and they said that it's basically up to the borough on how we want our roads repaired. So we can have them spot fix just that one spot that they dig, or we can have them go the entire way across the street. They'll actually saw cut that out, patch it back in, so it's smooth the whole way from one side to
I
the
don't know
other.
if that really helps you, because now you're tearing up the rest of the
The
street
rest of the
just to put
street,
a patch in.
that's why I brought up the discussion. If you guys
Yeah.
want me to change it, I'll change
I
it.
don't know if there's some thing we need to put some kind of a specification. If it's a certain size, then you do like a whole way across. But if it's under that, then you don't.
Whenever I did a sewer, I dug a sewer down in Monaco one time, and I had to cut into the street. They made me come back or they made me, when I was done, I had to compact it, then I had to pour concrete, then I had to put
Oh,
blacktop
you gotta
on
put
top of
concrete
that.
down.
Yeah.
We don't require concrete.
I know.
There is like when somebody comes up and works on a street opening permit. Now utilities usually don't get charged that. You know, we don't charge gas company, water company, that kind of stuff. But there's procedures for filling in that permit.
Mhm.
You know, we need to make sure that they're following
Which I
that
think they do. I think what they do is they
guideline.
backfill it with gravel, which is the way to do it. Not slag or anything, but actual
Yeah,
river
actual
gravel.
Right,
And I mean, that's the way to do it. And then they let it,
but you're supposed to tamp it also.
well, what they do is they just slap some blacktop on it and walk away from it. And then come back in the spring or summer. Then they cut square patches out. They cut it, dig it out, and then that gives
Then they
it
go
time
back and do the
to
seal.
pack it in. What, you know. And then they come back and they cut it all, and
But the key part again is what I said earlier, get them to come back. Because I've had to have water company, it was coming up from West Fourth to Fifth, all the way back there to 47th, 49th, the last street coming up. Whole way up there, they cut the whole street out, all the way up there and put new lines in. And they threw some patch on it, you know, to make it, so they could get it
they
back
didn't
to it.
come back.
They never came back.
But that's what we
Well,
gotta figure out.
We
We
have
gotta,
to get on them about.
Well, yeah, that
they
is.
will if you got to tell them.
Once I realized that they didn't do it, I called them and said, hey, when are you gonna fix this?
yep.
2 weeks later. they
We'll
come
start
and fix it.
keeping an eye on it. Brian, keep that on your radar. I've also got all the PA1 calls. Almost everything that they do comes across as an emergency. So this summer we can go around and start checking them out. And yeah, we'll keep your eyes peeled. If you see them, any of them sinking, or if they haven't been attended to yet,
Were they repaired?
yeah, make a list of them. Get them to me when you can, and then I can always reach out to the water authority and have them.
Like, talking about these patches.
Bottom of Short Street.
Yeah, I mean I'm just yeah.
That's been there a year and a half probably.
Did they have to cut out down there on West Second? Right there where they hit the gas line, remember when they was putting that?
What's started out? Oh yeah,
Because I got a call, said they had a water line leak down there.
I don't know.
Oh, they got that up already?
I don't know, that's why I haven't been back down there. It was,
It's a brand new road, they guaranteed they would start.
Who knows true problem? AJ called me and said something about water coming out of it. He called and asked, AJ, I'm at work. I said, can you call the Beaver Falls Water Authority and tell them to come up and check it? He said, yeah, he said, I'll call them. I said, but they're probably gonna have to dig the road up. They gotta dig the road up, they gotta dig the road up. What am I gonna do? But I never went down to check.
Other than all of that, do you have anything to add to the road planning for this year?
When are we gonna do it?
The plan?
When are you gonna go out and survey streets for?
Yeah.
Soon as we,
Sooner the
soon as
better.
it stops, or as soon as
As soon
we
as the
get
snow stops.
some
That's what I'm
snow.
saying. It's hard to get out there and do it.
No, you can't do it now.
I've already got a list going. We're running into some problems for
It's not
sure.
my mind.
We'll tackle them when we
The
get to
couple
them.
years when we didn't have the money or the manpower or anything to do anything with,
Yeah.
that killed us.
That's all I
It was
got.
bad.
I know you don't like to do the tar and chip, but My alley behind my place, they used to tar and chip that every few years. I didn't like it because my kids would come in with tar on their feet, walk into the house with it. But that road stayed good. I mean, it's an alley.
They used to
And
tar
it
and chip
stayed
all
good.
the alleys, but
And
that's when they had money coming in from B&W.
yeah,
They don't have money coming in from B&W anymore.
but these alleys are just getting worse and worse and worse. We're
I've
putting all that
already
money
got- I've already
into.
got emails out to people that do grants. And Janet already talked to somebody that does grants and it's being worked.
Okay.
Look at that.
That's all I've got.
All right, so we'll go to fire and police.
Note here.
None. Bill under new for sewers.
I'm still waiting for AJ. You tell me when the ground's thawed out enough so we can go ahead and put that sewer line in down on, I don't know what you call that, Tank Alley or whatever it is. We do that alley by the foundry.
Okay.
So that's still open, waiting for that to get done. One other one, which other one did I have?
And I did an occupancy on the foundry. Somebody bought that.
Did they?
They're buying it. I don't know if it went through yet or not.
Sure.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Oh, I had it right in my head too, my little brain spit out.
On sewer.
I did update the cap reports that I have to do. You have to do one at the beginning of the year, one mid-year, one mid-year, one at the beginning of the year. I've done all those. So I'm assuming, they never tell me whether or not, because I did the report, whether or not we have like taps available. I have to call, find out when somebody needs one. I'm assuming as long as I'm doing those reports and I'm getting those taps, and I put that in there. I usually request 2 taps a year.
Good.
So that's all taken care of
So we are gonna get 2 taps per year.
until they tell us differently.
Okay.
You updated your businesses.
Huh?
You updated your businesses and your spreadsheet for businesses.
Oh, that's different. That was, I gave that to Eli,
Can't have it.
but I did, you guys had asked, Mark had asked for businesses and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I did do the list there. I've updated it, added some stuff on it. There's like 22 that I know of. I know there's housing that people are doing daycare, but I don't know exactly where they're at. I got as many numbers as I could. When the weather breaks, I'm gonna go back and finish it, but I got this from Mark, get him started with if he needs it. And also, this is a book that came from the fire department. They don't know it, okay? But this is all the streets in the borough, all the hydrants in the borough, and all the addresses that we had it. I don't remember when we did this. So if you wanna
Well,
look
that's
up,
good.
you wanna look up a street like Ann Street,
So they know
say,
where the hydrant's at.
house number 3613, it tells you what hydrant you should be hitting. It should be Matilda 36.
Good.
So I wanted to give this to
Yeah,
Mark
that's where
to
it's
use it, but these were responding from the West Mason station. It may change because it's gonna respond from Bugle Falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll at least let you know that. Yeah, they're all on there. Anybody wants to look at them more?
All right, thank you. Finance and litigation, Jason.
No. We need to get a laptop for Jenna to be able to do the stuff that she does for us.
Didn't we already
Do the
agree to
stuff She
that?
does.
Well, I need about $500.
Okay,
Make a motion.
Decent enough one.
yeah, make a motion.
I'll make a motion, we update Jenna's list of police, a minimum
500.
or maximum, what's your max?
Maximum 500 because it's when
Make
you
a
use
motion, we
the
update Jenna's computer up to 500.
Jenna, do you need a new computer?
Yes, please.
All right, I'll second it. Problem solved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hey, you get a new computer, Jenna.
I need it badly. Thank you.
Is that it?
Just give me the tax exemption.
Anything else, Jake?
That's it.
All right, Jeff's not here, but that
I'll
was
take
actually
that.
Jake's job for this
Um,
last month.
So the borough of Big Beaver County just passed an ordinance, and it came across my desk.
The borough of Big Beaver County.
The
Borough of Big
Big Beaver in Beaver County.
I don't know if they just passed it, but that's what they.
Yeah, this is something that got
I've been
sent
doing
to
it for a
me.
minute.
So this pertains to an escrow for fire insurance, and basically what it is the way I understand it, we would collect
A certain amount of money from
Yeah.
the insurance company. Your house burns down, we would get a check.
until
the
something
house-
is fixed, repaired,
Or cleaned up.
Cleaned up.
Yes.
Yeah. If it is not, we can use those funds to demolish the property.
Because basically,
No, it's not
So if
costing
the house
us.
is destroyed,
Yes.
if my house is destroyed, I get the insurance
You don't
company, I
clean it
take
up.
the check and run.
Well, that's
And
what
left the
that's
borough.
what the problem is. That's why these ordinances started a long time ago. Actually, you may not recall, Jake, probably about 5-6 months ago, we briefly talked about this.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, and then just sort of died, I guess, but I think it'd be a good idea, real
Yeah,
good
so
idea.
that's their ordinance.
Yeah.
So
I
Joe,
can
you get
give
that, and you can
this.
change it to
yeah,
put
yeah,
our,
let Joe look at it and
our
doctor it up.
information in it.
I do believe everything is in here.
And then we can, vote on that next month if you have it ready.
Yeah, I can have it ready.
Okay, put that on the old business for next month, Jay.
That's right.
The only other thing under the ordinance that I was able to come up with, I know we discussed in the past about taking down the project build, the old project.
Oh, yeah.
It's vacant up there.
All the left over.
Yeah, is that something that we should continue?
Yeah, that.
I don't see the,
We don't have a fire department anymore.
yeah, we're not gonna use their services. So, I don't know that you have to have it. It was nice whenever they were there,
Yeah.
but I would think you're really.
But when's the last time they did it? They used
I
it.
don't know when the last. time
It's
you did
been
it. I haven't
many
been-
years.
I don't think it's been that long, but I don't think they're utilizing it.
Pre-COVID.
So is that something
I
I can pass on to Tina and you guys to handle?
Well,
Talking
just
to
get a hold of Bar Residential and say,
All right, I'll get a
fire
hold of.
department don't, not gonna be able to do this anymore.
yeah.
What do you wanna do with the building? If you're building, you can get rid of it.
Is that it?
As far as I know.
I'll call you. Once
Jason has a
Jake, I'll call and talk to
Jason has a
Pat.
question.
I know we were talking about
Which
before.
is that Beaver Falls use it?
Beaver Falls has their own places.
Well, they can burn that one down. We don't have to do nothing about it.
Well, they might.
They may end up
We'll
burning
pass
it
it along
down.
to them.
It has to go through Bar Residential because they own the property.
I don't care who burns it down. If you want to
Yeah,
burn it
just-
down,
it needs
I
to
don't mean
go.
if they do it, we won't have to worry about it, you know what I mean?
It just, whoever does it, it
They're a
needs to
mess.
go.
Yeah.
No question. I know we're talking about ordinances right now. Have we ever dropped up anything for the fire service review committee about all the stuff that we're gonna be doing for that?
Well, that was what Brian was supposed to be doing, but he hasn't been able to come.
Okay.
'Cause all the stuff that Kevin's committee had done prior to all this investigation, there's a list of, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 recommendations, and we all agreed in December to move forward with that. And then Louis quit, so it went to Ryan, but then Ryan hasn't been able to finish.
Well, we'll wait till Ryan,
Yeah,
let's see what he come up with.
yeah, I'm just making a statement why.
All right, so Janet's not here.
What was she talking about?
I'd say I have a couple of things that she told me today. As far as the applying for new grants, Bree Kovac is working on new grants.
That's who it is.
Okay. For
I
park and
talked to her
roads.
yesterday.
She was saying if we paid her for anything as far as applying for the grants for us, it would just be small because she's basically doing it to volunteer for the community. So that's just Janet's update on it. Under baseball, she was just saying that Jake, Bob, Janet, you guys all had a meeting and came to an agreement with baseball. Emergency management, she was going to suggest giving Eli a chance to have a report, which I had already done. So, and as far as she said something about a warming center, Eli, creating a warming center. That's just what she told me and said it was under you.
Probably
So-
in case the power goes out and nobody has, but if we would only have a generator to run a
It's very
furnace.
difficult to run a warming center.
Exactly.
It's an ADA access thing. We would need
Yeah, certain
power back
requirements.
here to power the furnace back here. We could be very limited. we might be able to reach out to warming centers that are in the region and let people know that those are available. But running a warming center or a cooling center isn't really something we're equipped to do here.
Yeah, you'd have to have a big generator, because if their power's out, ours might be out too.
I mean, we do have a generator.
Generator we have here
Yeah, but-
will run this building.
Okay.
But in order to run a warming center, because this isn't big enough.
What kind of
for a warming-
generator do we have here? Oh, we have a big one here.
Yeah, we have
somewhere.
That's still here, right?
Okay, yeah.
Is there anything we did
To run a actual full warming center shelter requires a lot. You gotta
Is
have,
everything returned from?
you gotta have a lot of, there's a lot of requirements around it, so we don't really,
I really don't.
when I was doing this, I don't have the ability to do it. We would contact the county and see if they have warming shelter set up.
Okay.
People there and advise them.
Wheelchair accessible.
All right,
everything.
yeah, I got you.
Okay, just not possible. Got it.
Is that it? Mayor?
Not really reading minds. I think Janet was thinking on the realms of maybe the fire department, the building.
We have,
You don't
I
own it.
mean,
we don't have that building. That's not ours.
That's not our
So you would
building.
have to go to
Okay.
Fire
them.
department.
Yeah, that
We
is,
can't have
you don't
that.
own that building, that belongs to them yet. We cannot go down there and say, we're gonna use this for a warming center.
And they,
Like
and
you
they
come in your house
have
saying,
no,
I'm having
they
a
have
party.
no emergency power capability.
Okay.
There's no generator.
Yeah, there's no generator
There's no
down there.
generator down there that could power that in the backup. I mean, we can fire up little generators.
And again, it's not handicap accessible
Right, but
restrooms
then again, ADA
and stuff like
compliance.
that.
Okay. All right, I just threw that in.
Yeah.
Just threw it out of my
I'm telling you
head.
what these,
You're up.
that's why we didn't want to use it for a warming shelter for us, really, because it's not accessible.
All right, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine, it was brought up to me by a concerned citizen about the insurance that's left on the fire station. And I reached out to Nova, who insures it, and they were supposed to get a hold of the fire department. Yes, Eli?
Yep.
Did you?
I talked to the guy from Nova, he got it covered.
That's what's.
And then we got a mail from them. It says the cancellation of the policy has been requested since the VFD is insured. The unearned premium refund will go back to them, and they will have to refund it to the borough.
Yep.
So whenever that check
There's a
comes
finance
in.
guy there, so.
Oh, your finance?
Mhm.
Okay.
As long as I get the check.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
doesn't get intercepted.
Now, did they get insurance on that now? Do they have insurance now? Or you don't know? Okay.
From what Wendy texted me the other day, she said she does have insurance.
Yeah, that's their problem.
Okay, so that's done. The lot behind the fire station
Parking lot.
belongs to us. What are we gonna do with it? My suggestion is we take over possession of it. We, if they wanna use it, if they're gonna have a function, if they're gonna rent it out, whatever, they could come to us and ask us for permission to use it. And then we can let them use it. Instead of it sitting there looking like a junkyard. That's my thought. So this means they could clean it up, get the junk out. There's vehicles that are just sitting there that shouldn't be there. Trailers, whatever. And like I said, if they want to, I don't have a problem with them using it as long as they come to us and ask for permission like we have to do for them. Anytime we want them to advertise on a sign or anything, they want us to come to their meeting and ask permission instead of just saying yes or whatever. If they're going to work with the community, I will have no problem letting them. I would have no problem with it. I don't know about everybody else. But I think that would be a good thing to do, to get it cleaned up and, because we're carrying the insurance on that basically.
I don't know if we have any insurance on that or not.
Well, we're covered for all of our properties.
Oh, that's true. You have
Yeah, I
like a
guess,
blanket.
I guess we,
Yeah,
Guess we'll cover that.
Be a great place for community yard sale.
that's a nice idea.
Yeah.
We could do that once in a while or something. I mean, I'm sure Kevin's tired of seeing the junk out there.
Yeah, I look at it every day. Could I add something?
Sure.
So about every 2 weeks or so, I have to sort of channel my inner Gladys Kravitz because somebody pulls in
Your
there.
inner Karen?
They pull in there at dark and they back into a fence up against, my property or somewhere in there, and who knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? Who knows? So, maybe a chain across that entrance would be something to consider, just for the overall safety, so you won't have any drug deals or that stuff going on there. I don't know what
That's
they're
not
doing.
gonna stop them.
Pardon?
Chain ain't gonna stop them.
Well, if it's up, it'll.
Well, they can't.
deter 'em.
Can't drive.
I've seen kids riding here with bikes.
No, you can't
Yeah, but they're
drive.
not-
I'm talking about
it's on
cars.
crack.
Cars are pulling in there doing stuff.
Yeah.
I had to call. I told you the other year I had to call the police because at 3:00 in the morning somebody pulls in there. They go into that trailer that's there, and they're inside the trailer. And I was watching this for a while. I called the
They
police.
go in
Police
that
came.
little trailer?
Well, I mean that mobile home. I'm sorry, the mobile home that's back there.
You call that a mobile home?
Whatever that damn thing is. Right? These couple of guys at 3:00
That's
in the
got a
morning.
lock on it. There's only a few people that have a key for that.
Well, what happened is
Supposedly.
police came, and then Mr. Little came over, and they all had a powwow out there in the dark, and then they all left. I don't know what that was about. But I thought, okay, I'm doing my due diligence as a concerned citizen. I don't know if what they're doing. So, but that's the kind of stuff that is, people are going into that lot now because it's wide open.
Yeah,
So I'd like to see something done about that.
sure. Any thoughts?
I'm sure you have plenty of chains back there. Or down at the park, there's lots of chains.
Yeah, there's no problem putting up a chain. And like I said, if they want to
Color
work,
it so it's visible.
if they want to work with the community, which they don't usually like to do, but I'm happy to work with them. But there's no sense, there's no reason to have all that junk out there, and
No, it's gotta get taken care of.
I mean, I
You
got my
can't be
trailer.
driving around citing people for the same things that they were
What
already
trailer?
doing.
Well, I got sitting over there.
what is it?
Just a
Trailer.
utility trailer.
Bring it over here.
It's a trailer.
We'll charge you rent.
Well, I'm gonna take it out of there and put it in front of my house.
Well, as long as it's in your driveway.
I don't
I mean,
have a driveway
that's
out
the
front. I
thing.
got set along
I'm-
the street.
I'm
parking
going,
in front of my
I'm going
house.
to all these people telling them, you gotta get the junk car off your property. And I'm making them get rid of the junk cars and stuff when we have a fire department sitting there with a bunch of junk vehicles.
Well, I'm just saying, I'll pull it over to my house, but it's gonna be sitting out front of my house, and it's legal. So, it's not junk,
If it's legal,
Legal
I can't do anything about it.
What about the dumpster?
unless somebody wants to buy it, I'll get rid
That's
of it.
not our dumpster.
The fire department's renting that.
They can
Well,
put it in the
it's on
grass.
borough property now, ain't
Yeah,
They can put it in the grass.
it? I'm just saying, ain't
they can put it anywhere on their property.
And
What else we got?
Well, I need a vote on that.
Oh,
Does anybody wanna,
I'm fine with it. Leave it junk.
I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
What is the motion?
The motion is
Let's
to take the
Take the-
parking lot back, and if they wanna use it for any reason, they can come contact us.
No, they've already paid for this year.
Yeah, it's paid $1 a year.
When's the lease?
Well, there is no lease, there is nothing
Oh,
in
there's
writing,
a-
that's
But they
just,
already paid the $1 for the chip.
well, we'll give them $1 back, I don't care about it.
Give them $2.
There's no contract
Sure you
that
don't want
says
75
$1.
cents to go back, prorated.
No, we'll give them the whole $1
Give them the
back.
whole $1.
I'll give you an extra $1 to give them.
So am I making a check for $1?
I don't know yet.
Is there been, what's the scenario? Has there
And
been a
the same
verbal,
thing's gonna apply when you.
has there been a
want to use the
verbal
sign.
agreement
When
that
you come
they,
back, you wanna use the sign,
Right.
right, charge.
Exactly.
Hold on, Joe's got something.
has there been an agreement, a verbal agreement
There
between the
was,
fire department and
Yeah.
the borough?
Years and
Yes,
years and
allegedly.
years ago.
Year to year?
Yeah.
Joe, doesn't
The
the
fire
statutes
department
of
run it for
fraud say that all leases have to be in writing in the state? And
It
that's a
should be.
lease.
Yeah.
It should be.
So that is not a valid lease.
No, it's not a valid lease. Probably not worth fussing over. But they could always come back and say, based on what they call past practice and custom, that we've been utilizing this, I don't know how many years it's been, but, you know, the dollar is just symbolic more or less, okay? But they probably couldn't enforce that anyway.
Jake made a motion. Do I need to second it?
Someone needs to.
I'll
And then I
second
need
it.
a rule.
All in
The answer
favor?
is no, they couldn't.
Oh, wait, do we know how we're writing it?
Yeah, I need a roll call, so I need, Bill, what's your vote?
No.
Yes.
Bob is yes. Jake
Yep.
and Jason.
Mayor gets to do her job. Finally. Finally get a vote, Mayor.
This is number 2 for you.
Yeah, well, I say,
Another big decision.
give them $1.
So is that a yes or no?
She's basically saying take it back.
I say, yes.
All right, give them their dollar back, write a check.
Thank you, that was my next question.
And if anybody talks to them, let them know. You guys work with us, we work with you.
That's it.
Does anybody know, just because I did take on this role recently, where, like, do I just send it to the fire department? Do I need to send it to someone
I think you need
specific?
to do a nice
Fire
letter.
Department?
Send it straight to the fire department.
Straight to the fire department.
Fire department does theirs.
Perfect.
Make sure you put on there what it's for.
I'll write something
Send
out.
them a letter.
Yeah, I'll send them a letter with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And certified.
Just to reel it
Stand.
Just to determine the notice to close.
What'd you say?
I don't care.
Just to
I don't
close
either.
it.
Well, Bob,
She's
Like I said, I don't have a problem
She's
with
the
it.
only issue.
how long are you gonna give them to be able to remove their,
Like the notice to
their
quit.
material?
No, notice to quit is
Go
an
now.
eviction notice.
Well,
You're just
she
saying
needs
you're
to put that in the
terminating
letter.
Yeah, give them
Yeah,
30
release.
days. I don't
But
know.
we have,
Right.
And notice to quit.
Jenna,
right, yeah, I don't
when
know.
you write that
You have
letter,
to
tell them
put-
they need to remove
You
their
have to
stuff
post it
by
on
the end of the
property.
month.
30 days from date of notice.
Regular mail.
By the end of March.
Or personally deliver it.
Give them time.
He said that in the letter.
Everything will go except that trailer back there, that's gonna be a bear to move.
I need to put in
I
30
can help.
days.
Whatever,
notice
it's not a
to
trailer,
decide.
it's a,
Okay, I
It's
don't
a
need to go
box.
through you. for
that
anything.
box you dropped there many years ago, they used for the shed.
I give it to them, I can take it back out.
Well, that's the only thing that's gonna, because it's not on wheels or anything. That's been the only thing they'll have trouble moving.
That's all.
What's in it?
It's got
Whole
fire
wires
equipment.
and stuff.
Junk.
Some of it's not junk, some of it's actually still usable.
Keep lawnmowers in there, stuff like that.
Snow blowers in there.
I've never seen anybody blow snow over there.
Oh, yeah, we used to do it all the time.
So you're saying March 31st, everything needs to be out?
Yeah.
Go get your trailer, I don't have a hitch on the car.
I need to get that thing off the back of my truck first. Damn key won't unlock it.
All right, and that's, the next thing is, where are we gonna be voting? We have voting coming up this year.
That's Farrell. They've already, from when I talked to them last time, they've already talked to, the county and said that it could be done there, yeah.
Okay, good.
So from what I'm assuming, it's gonna be at the Farrell.
How do we get confirmation of that?
Contact,
Like
County?
down county, it's the courthouse down at the,
Voter registration.
voter registration. They'll tell you whether it's been confirmed or not.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got. Joe,
Nothing, sir.
Mayor,
Um,
she's probably tired
Yeah.
from my
Yeah,
vote.
right,
It's very strenuous on her.
very strenuous.
All right. Need to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills?
I'll second it if I need to.
We need, ratification of purchases made by committees.
No motion.
1 second, Bob. Something that has been brought to my attention that was not done properly was when we do a motion to do the bills, we also have to do a roll call vote to do it. I know it kind of like is a
A roll
blanket,
call?
a roll call vote
When the
to,
debt start.
What if we never did that?
yeah, it's just something that we are supposed to do and we have not been doing. So I just need a roll call vote to pay the bills. That's
I
all.
never knew we had to do
Yeah.
it. We've always said aye, aye,
All right,
Yeah.
roll call.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Bill?
Yes.
Okay. Bob?
Yes.
Okay. Jake?
I guess, yes.
Jason?
What happens?
I guess.
What happens if we say no?
That's what I wanna know.
You can't pay the bills.
Can't pay the bills?
Well, actually, majority rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
majority.
Yeah. I got Bill as the first, to make it, who seconded it, Jake, okay. All right, thanks guys.
Ratification of purchases made by committees.
Under
We kind of did that already.
We don't need an approval, I guess. Oh, okay.
You just have to
Make sure you
say,
get a hold of him
You're-
tomorrow so he doesn't start purchasing anything else.
So I'm in charge
Yeah.
of
Start calling people out.
did you hear what
Supposed
Jason
Yeah.
said? Make sure that you get a hold of Jeff
Tomorrow,
tomorrow to
So-
make, so he doesn't make any more purchases or anything, so
Okay.
he's taken off it and is not here to know that.
I'll text him tonight. Okay, is there any other business?
to- Motion to adjourn.
I second.
What? Okay,
Truck.
we're adjourned.